Greetings, everyone. We are now back. The time from recess, the time now is 10:56. And I would ask the secretary to take a roll call.
Oh, sure. I'd like to take a roll call. Jamie Barney,
Present.
Trinity George,
Present.
Liam Doyle, absent. Hyson McKee,
Present.
Melissa Haley, present.
And our legal counsel, Sherry Morris, is with us, and our administrator, Emily D'Angelo, is also here with us. And so we are now starting officially our strategic planning portion of the meeting. So committee updates. So what we're going to do is, board, is that I have created a PowerPoint presentation, just to kind of capture, section B, C, E, and F. Just to kind of do all of that in one. And, so I'm gonna ask if Emily, give her a moment to see if she can pull that PowerPoint presentation up. And it'll kind of help us cover everything. Oh, that's not that, Emily, you gotta pull it up first. You have it pulled up? It's probably gotta be one of your tabs first. Yeah. So stop sharing and then, yeah. I can't believe you got a billion emails since I sent you that. That is unbelievable. Okay, it should come up. Okay. All right. I'm gonna send it to y'all, so it's not, all right, so.
And how do I?
You good? Yep, you just go click. Go back. Yeah, go back one more time. And your thing your font is different. Hit the button one more time. Back, like get us to the first slide.
Oh, here we go.
Should this be being shared with the public?
That's
You
what I-
could, Is she, you sharing your screen?
No,
Oh, escape, ESC, got to come out of it. You know, the ESC. Yeah, now go back to your Zoom. Hit your share button. Do you see it up there? Click it. I'm coming. Right here. It should be there. Now see if you could hit share. Okay, now go to your presentation mode. You know how to do, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I don't have my glasses on. I mean, I have my glasses on, but I can't see.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Girl, don't even get me started. I lose that. Okay, can you go to your presentation mode? Watch. It's okay. You can't see it on your screen. Watch this.
I'm saying I can't figure out
I
how to
know.
press the,
Dr. How can you show it from your computer?
She'll come up now. It's so slow. Zoom is really, it's slow, guys. It's so slow. If I slow
Try
down,
clicking in and ain't going.
yeah, all the showing is.
Not allowing me to register for meeting, it's too late.
Yeah.
Stop it and start it again. Stop it.
We're not sharing your whole, the window.
Try it again.
It's okay, it's Zoom is
Yeah,
so
go,
slow.
go to the entire screen. The, blue one.
Right here. Right here?
Yeah. Okay, so now everybody just see what you see, and then you can X out of it and do it where.
Well, right here,
No, just X out of it.
X,
Yeah, like you sharing, no, this little one right there.
where you at? Oh, right
Yeah,
here,
I'm sorry.
yeah, share, right?
Mhm.
Right, that's my point, you see how slow it is? Zoom is really acting up today. Okay, now, watch this, y'all see it?
It's not in presentation mode.
Oh, that's because you gotta go to the edit of that.
Here,
Under here,
right here,
what is, yeah.
and then we'll edit it. Now, let's see,
Mhm.
let me see if y'all see it now. Well, it
You should be
the
able to do it
screen
from right
here, right here,
Yeah, right there.
there
Yeah.
you go, y'all see it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Whew. All them minds, okay, y'all. Wow, okay, so we can get going and, on this Saturday. All right, y'all, so here goes our FY 26 strategic planning meeting. Next slide, please, Emily. I'm gonna be saying that. So Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners, we know why we exist. To safeguard the public safety, welfare of people of this state against unauthorized, unqualified, and improper practice of social work, it is necessary that a proper regulatory authority be established and adequately provided for. Protection profession. This is the front-facing, if you will, logo, mantra, of what we decided we came up with as a board. This is what the Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners decided would be our front-facing logo, mantra. And we decided this FY 25. There's also a piece to this that our administrator had added to as well. And Emily said that portion, I always love that about upholding the integrity of the profession, right? Protecting the public and upholding the integrity of the profession. So that's also the tagline. So I just want the public know that this is Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners front-facing logo. It's important for everyone to also know that Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners is not a membership organization. And I mean, often we have to say this because people sometimes think that we are a membership organization and we're not. We are a regulatory body. It does not have constituents. So we are not elected. We don't represent people. We don't represent social workers. We are regulators. We regulate the practice of social work. We cannot lobby, so we do not, lobby for or against any type of proposed bills or statutes or anything. If something becomes law and it applies to social work and it involves our practice, we regulate that. We don't create statutes, so we don't create that. Oftentimes we get a lot of questions about, a statute that we created. We don't create them. We don't lobby for or against. Again, I want to say that over and over again, we do not do that. We just regulate what's there. Our board positions are appointed, and they're comprised of volunteers. Everyone that's in this room, this is a volunteer position. We don't receive pay. We're not employed. We get that a lot too. People say, "Ooh, y'all making all that money on the board." We're not making all that money on the board. We're not employees. We are volunteers. However, we do receive compensation for our travel, our mileage. If we have to stay overnight, for example, like last night, this board meeting led until today, then our hotel accommodations are covered. But this is the role of the board. So just to bring some clarity to the public about who we are and what we are. Licenses, licensees, it's a privilege to practice in this state. You don't pay a membership to get a license. You meet the criteria that's set forth by the statutes, and you apply to get a privilege to practice social work in the state. Next slide, please, Emily. Okay. 7-member board, chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer. Those positions are elected by the board members itself. So we are all appointed, but the actual role, those are elected by our board members. We have 4 staff members. And you guys out here, I hate to say that, but our board staff members are Emily D'Angelo, our administrator, Regina DeWitt, and licensing analyst Sarah Banks and Blake Williamson. We have 6 committees. Continuing education, which is led by Trinity, policy procedures led by Melissa, rules led by Jamie, supervision, and telehealth interstate compact. I have those 2. Technology, we had that, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like, but we have kind of pulled back a little bit because technology has done a heavy lift last year, and their role may not be as prominent right now in this period of time. And then we have other ad hoc committees that come along. We have a legislative review committee, and that typically convenes when it's during legislative session. We've had this past legislative session, Liam Doyle has helped support it in that area for the legislative review committee. So at this time, I am going to kind of lean into some committee updates. And I can start with whoever wants to go first. I didn't ask for a formal report because we've been doing a lot of other board work. But if anybody want to get any updates at this time about their committees, and I'll just open the floor for that.
I can give an update, but I have a question first.
Yeah.
Which of these committees are ad hoc and which are standing?
Yes, good point. So when we had our last FY25 discussion, Jamie, we talked about rules only being the standing.
Rules is, okay.
And the other committees are ad hocs. And of course, they're called at the request of the board. And of course, at the consideration of the chair, right? So we have issues like, for instance, technology is ad hoc, and so they've done a heavy lift. And so we may pull back a little bit on technology. There's some things we'll talk about. But rules is the only standing right now. And I know there's some work that, you and I have in thought partnership about how we want to make sure that's written somewhere, So, yep. So that's the only standing.
Okay.
You wanna lead with your rules? Okay, go ahead.
So I have been appointed as the chair of the Rules Committee. Again, want to thank Evan for all of the hard work he did with this committee. So that's been as of April 2025. So the last meeting the Rules Committee has held was July 9th, 2024. This committee has not had any further meetings after the significant changes in rules were sent forward. And I know we're going to get an update on that later on the agenda on that work. But the goals that were identified in the last report submitted by the Rules Committee was to formalize meeting timelines to ensure that there's no more than 4 per fiscal year or 1 per fiscal quarter. So no more than, and clear out an agenda backlog. So they had about 3 items that was still pending. And so the charge by the committee is to draft proposed rules to the board for potential promulgation. And the goals and accomplishments: to propose language for rules promulgation within 6 months of referral, to hold public hearings on those proposed draft of rules, to revise existing chapters of the rules governing the board and the practice of social work, and to receive proposals from other committees and draft proposed rules for promulgation. So just want to make sure we all are on the same page of what the expectation is for the committee as I go forward in scheduling the next meeting. And so the pending items that I have noted from the last report are establishing rules around the committees. So the standing and the ad hoc committees, the appointments made by chair, term limits, and positions on committees, pre-eligibility determination, and educators or professors receiving CME credit to author books. And so if there's anything that has been sent to the Rules Committee that I did not just mention,
Say that again, professors receiving what?
CME credit to author books, like authoring a book and receiving CME credit for it. And wait, let me see, yeah. And then also to finalize a determined number of members for the committee and attendance or participation meeting requirements.
So any questions for Jamie regarding the Rules Committee update status? Thank you, Jamie, for stepping in and taking on that role for Rules Committee. And we've had some conversations about how the Rules Committee will meet. So what we've discussed that it will be twice a year. You know, it's going to be a December and a June, something like that, right before the end of the calendar year and right before the end of the fiscal year, right? And so what our board will work to do is submit information for review to the Rules Committee so that they will be able to meet during those times to make the decisions and then send that information back to the board for full review. So the Rule Committee meetings, the cadence will decrease, but the time at the meeting may increase. So we want to make sure we let people know that the Rules Committee is only meeting 2 times a year. They may meet actually 3 hours instead of 2 hours when they come up here, right? We want to be intentional about our people's time and getting work done. So, thank you,
It was
Jamie.
June and December, right?
Like June and December, you know, right before the beginning of the calendar year and right before the beginning of the new fiscal. I think that's appropriate. That gives us time to get together, unless we have to call an emergency one, which we may have to. Sometimes during legislative season, we may have to call an emergency rule meeting, bless you. So we may have to do that. Okay, bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions from Jamie about rules? I will announce that who going to serve on the Rules Committee for the FY 26 year. And so let me get that information to you. Hold on one second. Let me pull that up. Okay, the following individuals will be serving on the Rules Committee. And if I do say your name and you no longer are interested in serving on a Rules Committee, please email Emily D'Angelo. But you will get an email from Dr. Borney, the chair of the Rules Committee, with follow-up information regarding the meetings. So we have Dr. Katie Doty that's will serve. We have Karen Austin that will serve. We have Donna Wimberly that will serve. We have Ashley Tony that is being appointed to the Rules Committee. And we have Michaelyn J. Parks that will be serving on the FY 26 Rules Committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. And then of course we have our chairperson who will be leading them. So.
Does D'Angelo remain a part of it?
And our administrator always is there, Ms. D'Angelo. So we have our full solid 7 individuals. And I will say that Ms. D'Angelo has been in the role of also participating and voting for rules.
Yes,
She
ma'am.
has been, allowed to do that. Okay, so, all right, any other questions for rules? All right, we are cooking with gas.
I have no report for the, Policy and Procedures Committee. We will follow up with you in terms of the cadence you want to go through and what is pending to be reviewed.
Okay, Melissa, that was quick. Thank you, Melissa. All right, so let's go right on to continuing education.
Okay, I do not have a report. However, I would like to make a statement regarding continuing education committee. So unfortunately, we scheduled a meeting for the 24th of April. However, here in 2025, however, due to unfortunate circumstances, we were unable to meet. I did provide them with an assignment. They were supposed to look at other states and provide me with information regarding the application. We wanted to streamline, we would like to streamline our application regarding the CE approval application process. Just to make it a little bit easier for our approval organizations, because we believe that it's convoluted and we just wanted to make it a little bit better. We would like to also make a rubric for auditing purposes so that we can be consistent. Our licensees would like consistency and we would like to be consistent as it pertains to our process here at the Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners. We have 4 members. We have 1 LCSW BACS. We have 2 RSWs and 1 LAC. I would like to have more members. I'm finding it very difficult to meet because of establishing a quorum. And if we do not have a quorum, we cannot meet, we cannot vote. So I'm asking this body to allow us to find new members so that we can establish a quorum and we can meet.
Okay, well, thank you, Trinity, for that. Any questions for Trinity regarding the committee report for the continuing education? I do know that our data suggested that we have, is it 86 approved organizations? I think our last newsletter indicated it was 86, and I think that it's important to have some dialogue about that process. And I really wanted to bring that to the board's attention about considering putting a moratorium on that.
We did discuss that at one of our meetings. I brought that and the committee felt that when I brought that up as the chair of the committee, they felt that it wasn't about the number of continuing education CE providers. They felt that there should be more providers. They felt it wasn't enough. I felt that we just were in a disagreement.
So you said there are 86,
There are 86
approved education
organizations.
providers.
and how many licensed social workers we have here?
We have, right now, we'll get to that in a second, about
Yeah.
8,000. But this is the thing, let me tell you about the concern that I have with that. Not all approved organization providers are opening up opportunities for any social worker
I agree, they're only doing it
to
for their
attend
organizations.
their trainings.
It's only their organizations
So
that
that's
are
a
allowed.
That's a concern, because if you are an approved education provider by the state licensing board, you should open up your trainings
Yes.
for all social workers to have access to them.
Yes,
You cannot become an organization provider and just say, oh, I'm only doing it for my people.
exactly.
Is that a rule? Or is that our expectation that we need to formalize?
Well, that is something that we need to have more dialogue around. We need to make sure that, right, and so, well, it doesn't have to be a rule.
I'm sorry.
But it can be a policy,
Right.
right? Because it's not gonna be, and we need to do that expeditiously, because I didn't realize how much that was happening. I didn't realize that people were applying only for themselves and their few people and not having this open up
But
to
here's
other people.
But here's the
to all social
question.
workers.
if it's a policy and not a rule, even if we make it a policy, can we enforce it? Will it be
Yes,
enforceable?
if it's a policy, yes, it is enforceable. Right, and so again, board, we need to have some talk, a dialogue about that. I'm very concerned about that. I am, and and licensees has brought that to my attention. So I'm thinking we could do this either one or two ways. One, we can, at this point, put a pause and a moratorium on accepting any more applications for the continuing approved organization. We have 86.
Is that gonna be for new or is it gonna be for new and those who are wishing to renew until we update our application with that language?
Yeah, so we don't have to necessarily update the application with the language. We could actually have more conversation about that. That's why the strategic planning meeting, right? So we haven't made a decision yet. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, right? But we can have more dialogue about how we want to roll that out. That's number one. Number two, when people are audited
Mhm.
and the board does a review and the board asks you to provide information and you don't provide the information, then that means you were not in compliance with the audit. You cannot expect to be renewed and you cannot
Exactly.
expect to be a continued education approved provider. So I want people to also know, organizations to know that we are reviewing, we are in that process. And if your name is removed, you're no longer are an approved organization provider. So please stop issuing out information.
Have we removed someone because they didn't respond to the audit?
We've had a couple.
Okay, good. I just wanted
unfortunately,
to
that
make
we've
sure.
had to remove, we've had to do that, we've had to exercise that. Melissa, you had a question about.
So I guess it's two things. I guess, beginning with the end in mind, if we're looking for more providers, more licensees to have access
Yes.
to CEs, I'm not clear how stopping more people from getting it helps that. I think if you stop more people from getting that, or if you're taking away from people who have that, then that reduces the amount of CEs. And also what I want to say is that there is a capacity issue for licensees. That if you are required to allow anyone who wants to attend, that's a difference. If you only prepare for 10 people to attend or 20 people to attend and 30 or 40 people show up, then that recalls you to have to get additional space, and especially for agencies and organizations who may be able to do them at their jobs. I'm not finished. But what also I was going to say is some agencies like LDH and nonprofits, some of them have a large amount of providers in their facilities. And that's the reason why they get it for their facilities, because they may hire 20, 30, 40 social workers, and they're doing it so the people who work at their organization can have access. But then to have to add that in order for us to be able to do that, then you have to have a capacity. That's all I'm saying to think about. I'm not saying yay or nay.
Yeah,
I've
and
never heard of
you
it.
have a great point with that, but the issue is that if you are receiving the approval to be a continuing education provider approved by the Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners, you should advertise that, one, open up so that social workers can get access to that training activity. And if your registration is full, The issue is that you cannot just create and say you want this authority to be an approval organization through LABSWE, but then you only open it, then it becomes exclusive. That's not how it's supposed to go. And number two, being the approved education provider also allows you to approve other people's trainings too as well, right? So it's really not just about your company doing it for you. You also have the ability to approve other people's workshops and, that kind of, so it's more than just that, right? So again, you should be advertising, so people they get approved as a provider, and We don't know when the workshops are happening, where they're presenting them at, none of that is being made visible for social workers to see. We have some entities that do, they'll say, okay, we're gonna have something that's happening. But we have a lot of these organizations, and I've been looking through it, they won't even advertise what they're doing. Also, we have agencies that get approved and they just approve to get approved. They're not offering anything. They're just holding on this designation of being an approved organization, and they're not providing. They'll provide one workshop, maybe two within that time frame, and they just hold on and they're not providing at all. And so we have to really sit down as a board and think about these different issues, right? And kind of reconcile and make this work. There was a time when we only had, I don't know, Emily, maybe three at what? I remember a long time ago, there was only 3 approved providers. I'm not many years ago, but I'd say,
No, it's been many years ago.
yeah, we had 3, and then now we have 86.
It was
And
primarily institutions back in the time. That would be associations and universities were the primary. Until I got on the board, I wasn't even familiar that individuals could become individual providers. I've only known it to
Yeah.
be universities.
And so I'm thinking
And-
that we need to find a way to scale some of that back. And then also, because it's not accessibility to CEUs. I understand your position,
Yeah.
but it's not accessibility to CEUs. We have people that are on here as approved organizations that are not providing trainings, not providing workshops. They're not, publishing it. They're not saying when things happen. So it's not an accessibility issue. So me
I
and you
think
may
if all of
kind
those
of,
were required, they would, but I don't think any of that is required. But if it said you need to provide a certain amount of trainings a year.
and
or
that's
you
what we're
need-
gonna work on.
Yeah,
That's why we're talking about it
Gotcha.
together, because we need to work on that a little bit more, right? And so that's why my proposition was, do we put a moratorium until we work on it or what? Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, I don't think a moratorium would be the best route, because I could see that adding to issues of access. Like if there are persons who are able to get their trainings from their employer, even if that employer is only training their few people, that's adding the people that have to go look, especially while we're still required to do the face-to-face component. And then additionally, we charge a fee for applications or renewals.
Emily,
It's
We
that's
don't.
another problem too.
So
as
that's
well.
the issue, because,
That's
okay,
another issue, right? So it's almost, people could just apply. Emily, go
It's
ahead.
I'm sorry,
Go
it's
ahead.
in the proposed rules. I don't know if those are gonna get approved.
okay.
Mhm.
But it says the board, I think it's the board may charge up to $250
Okay.
per application and renewal.
Mhm.
Okay,
So there's no fee
okay.
right now. So that's why, and that's
So
the
we
other.
wouldn't be reducing the amount of,
No,
and
no.
then the other.
And they all charge a fee generally,
Mhm,
if they're approving you
Yes.
to provide, if they're approving you to provide a CEU, they're charging.
right.
Right,
So-
and we don't charge
Right,
for
so
the
that's,
application.
that's interesting.
So
Mhm.
I think a better route forward for me would be given a charge for a deadline for the continuing education committee to propose these policy changes, so that we can address those concerns more expeditiously instead of a more moratorium. So we could require, like we could send out a notice that if you are going to be a pre-approved organization, you must advertise, or you must
Mhm.
provide trainings to a certain number of persons. Like the expectation is you'll reach at least 100 people. And so there's some organizations that have staff that large. So if they don't open it up to the public, I don't see a big issue with that if you have thousands of employees in your system.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're an organization, you have 5 people and you do some trainings, maybe once if somebody needs some CEUs at the end of the year, I can see that being like, what is the purpose of you being a pre-approved provider if you're not
Mhm.
furthering the education of more social workers? So I think the committee coming up with what that looks like you need to be providing training this is the expectation, this many trainings, or train at least this many people at least once a year, or we'll pull a designation because obviously you don't need it. and require like advertising. I think that, so I think putting a timeline for the committee to propose those policy changes would be more efficient than a moratorium and stop it. Because I think that could potentially lead to access issues, especially while we're still required to get the face-to-face component.
And so so it sounds like we're going more of a policy route, which this is
Yes.
why I'm glad we're having this conversation. So we're throwing these ideas out here. And so Trinity, do you want to weigh in on that?
That's where I was going when Melissa was speaking. Thank you, because I was concerned when Melissa was making the comment that that the employers were how should I say this? Just taking the employers the employers, they were just, I don't know how I should explain it, but the employers were just basically having the they have the right to just train their employers. I don't know how.
Their employees.
The employee,
Yeah, the
and not
employees.
opening up.
Right,
to
right, and
other-
not opening it up to other people, but if they have, if we, I just don't know how to say it, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I
But-
just, in my
but-
mind, I'm thinking if we
but
have
there are
86, if we have
Right, if you
86
have-
approved
Yes.
organizations, and I don't want to take up too much time on it, and I want to respectfully hear everybody's point, because this is an issue. If we have 86 approved organizations, from my lens, I want to see what trainings are being offered before we can say it's an accessibility issue. If we have 86 approved organizations, we should be able to say, we have a lot of trainings that are being offered between 86 approved organizations. But unfortunately, I don't see that. And the reason why I'm saying I don't see that, because we don't have a way to offer that to the public, right?
Mhm.
And so we do list on our website who the approved organizations are. The question that I have is, what are you providing so that the public can see what you are providing? What trainings are you providing with this approved organization?
And how are you
designation?
advertising?
And how are you advertising it? And how are you making it accessible to the licensees to get it? We get a lot of licensees says, I can't find any in-person training. I've been getting that a lot lately. I can't find no in-person trainings. And I'm saying, how can you not find any in-person trainings if we have 86 approved organization providers? It just doesn't, it's just the math's not math, and I'm not a mathematician. I'm just telling you, if we knew what trainings were being offered by our approved organizations, we can go to our public and say on our website, so-and-so is offering a training next week on so-and-so, go get it. We can't go back and say, that our providers are not offering. You see my position?
Mhm.
So I appreciate that. So I appreciate the dialogue on it. I appreciate giving that to the Continuing Education Committee. Trinity has brought to our attention that he is having challenges with obtaining a quorum. And so we will open up the opportunity for more people to join his committee to work on this with the intention of having something back, hopefully by December. With that being said, Trinity, we want to be able to have something back by December
No, that's fine.
to bring before the board.
And how many committee members does?
We
You said
have four. We have
four?
an LAC, we have an LCSW BACS, we have two RSWs.
What?
Yes, four.
We don't want it all social.
We have Ada Nelson, she's a LAC.
Ada is a RSW and an
Oh,
LSW.
Okay, RSW. I'm like, why? Okay,
Ada, she's a
that's
RSW.
fine. That
And she's
makes
a
sense.
RSW.
Yeah.
I just was wondering
Yeah.
why we would have, okay, but
And
she's.
so we'll open it back up for more social workers.
So how many people do you think would be
About
sufficient?
6 or 7.
Well, I think it's more, in my mind, the ability for people to have the time and the commitment to come. And sometimes people can't come because they have other work
Right.
commitments, and that's why you don't get a
That's
quorum. It's
right.
not that the people, because I think when the people get together, they work.
Right, but if it's only 4 members, if 2 people are busy, because
Yeah,
we're seeing it
And then
since we don't have 2 seats appointed
yeah,
right now,
we have
it's
that.
hard to make sure we have a quorum.
Yes.
So I can imagine that with a committee, it's the same thing.
Yes,
If you only have
yes,
4 people,
yes.
if 2
It
people
is.
have something come up, which life happens and things come up, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
You know, so I get him wanting to expand it, so there's a little wiggle room
Yep.
if something happens with one or two persons.
Yeah, so I am happy to open up the, you know, to open it up to more members. And get whatever applications we get in and move forward with the goal of having something before the board, before the calendar year
Yeah.
ends. Cause I think we need to really have a conversation about that. So thank y'all so much for your time. Any other comments about continuing education? All right, next committee is, okay, policy procedure. Melissa said she has no report right now. Next committee is supervision. Okay, so supervision has met extensively. We were given the charge by the rules committee to take over drafting the rules for supervision. We have successfully been able to do just that. We have proposed rules for promulgation. We continue to work on,
Excuse me,
Um,
Madam Chair.
hey,
I'm
yeah.
very sorry.
yeah,
Can we take a break for like 1 minute or 2 minutes?
oh, yeah, okay. Like a recess, like
Yes.
closing recess? Oh, okay, so,
Can we make it longer than 2 minutes? Can we do 5?
yes, we can. Okay, I'm being asked by the board to do a 5-minute quick recess. So that's okay. So let's do 5 minutes
You should be
and
able to mute it from there.
let's see, we'll be back. Oh.
Right now, where
We were finishing up with you, and so we were on supervisions. Oh, it's ready? To come up, okay. All right, so the time is now 11:45. We came back from a short recess. At this time, I ask for a quick roll call.
Sure. Jamie Barney,
Present.
Trinity George,
present?
Liam Doyle, absent, Hassan McKee,
Present.
Melissa Haley, present.
All right, Sherry Morris, our legal counsel, is here, as well as Emily D'Angelo, our administrator. And so we left off on supervision, and just was sharing with everyone that supervision committee was given the charge to draft rules surrounding supervision, which we have done that. Our next step is to finalize some of the rules around continuing with supervision as it relates to backs and supervisees rights, supervisees responsibilities. We went over that the last supervision committee meeting, and so we are writing those and drafting those up to be put forth for review. So, but for pretty much supervision committee will not be meeting. We don't expect to meet in the near future. I think we've pretty much wrapped up what we've needed to do. And that's where we are with supervision committee. Y'all have any questions about that? We've been keeping y'all pretty much informed, step by step, what we've been doing.
So when you say wrapping up, that means like the ad hoc committee is.
So yeah, so right now, we're not having any more supervision committees scheduled. We've pretty much done our work. As I said, we were able to fulfill our
Right.
requirements and, you know.
So the committee is still in place, or is it?
Yeah, the
it's some
committee's
kinda-
still ad hoc.
Okay.
Right, it's still ad hoc, it's not a standing. It's fulfilled its purpose for right now. We do still have some stuff that we are, like, it's just in written stage, like
Okay.
we've already, it's just not even really written, it's just print out, you know, because we've already made our corrections, we already made all of that. And so at this point, all our information will be going for legal review,
Okay.
at this point.
And I will send out an email and I will get with the continuing education committee and inform them that I would like to meet with each and every one of them and schedule a meeting with, send an email to Emily to see what day I can book the conference room here, meet with them and see about getting the application completed with the changes. I cannot as a committee, we're gonna have to revamp that application as suggested by the board, but we're gonna look at that application and hopefully revamp it so that it can reflect the changes that's required.
Okay, thank you, Trinity. So, and we'll get back to supervision, as I was saying, Jamie. At this point, and we have fulfilled what we need for supervision, okay? Anybody have any questions about supervision committee? All right, so let me get right on to telehealth in the state compact. So there's been a lot of work on that end. Our interstate compact committee last met, I don't have the date from y'all, gotta forgive me on that, right? Because we usually meet the same day we meet the supervision with the supervision, we try to work that together. But since that time, there's been a lot of work around the interstate compact. You know that I have been serving as the commissioner delegate for the interstate compact for Louisiana. With that being said, that's one role. The other role is that I serve on the executive committee for the interstate compact. That's the second role. The third role, I will. So delegate.
Where is it from? What executive committee you talking about?
Okay,
Ours?
Yeah, I'm
No.
there.
okay, so let me back.
Yes.
Okay. So our board has a delegate commissioner, right, for the interstate compact. I served as a delegate commissioner for the interstate compact
Where is it?
for Louisiana delegate.
The commission.
The
Who
interstate
operates
compact,
that?
the interstate compact,
Through
So-
what, the board of governors or through the?
through the statute for the interstate compact. The multi-state compact, licensure compact,
Correct.
So you're asking
that's
who-
established.
Like what?
You're asking
Well, like,
who's the
the
chair?
interstate compact that I've seen has been, like, the board of governors has been the leader.
Council on State Governments.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. I wasn't sure.
But the interstate compact is the compact that is agreed upon for social workers to practice across state lines. We're aware of that. We know about the interstate compact, okay. So the commission is comprised of commissioners from all of the states that are inside the compact. Right now, we have 30 states that are inside the compact. Louisiana's commissioner of the compact is me for Louisiana. The board already delegated me to serve as the commissioner for the compact.
Okay, so that's one.
That's one. Two, I was elected by the commission to be on the executive committee of the interstate compact. I'm elected as the member at large. This is in y'all newsletter. I'm gonna just say that, keep quiet, but I'm elected as the member at large for the executive committee for the interstate compact. How did that happen? That's okay. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
Have a good day. Thank you. I'm on that executive committee.
Okay.
7 members on the committee. I'm one of them. Third, the chair of the Interstate Compact appointed me to serve as the Rules Committee Chair for the Interstate Compact.
Was that in the
It actually was.
They
But it's okay.
appointed you.
The chair of the Interstate Compact, and the chair is from Kentucky, appointed me to serve as the Rules Chair, Rules Committee Chair for the Interstate Compact.
Okay.
So your chair has 3 roles when it comes to the Interstate Compact, in addition to serving as the chair of the Interstate Compact for the Committee for Louisiana. Got it? So you know I'm-
Four.
Right, so you know I've been chairing the Interstate Compact Committee, right? That's why I've been coming and giving y'all reports. Y'all know I've been doing that, right? Because we had a chair, but we no longer have that person as a chair, but I served on that committee. So therefore I absorbed that role,
Okay.
right? Okay. So since that time, right, our first commission meeting took place in February of 2020, November of 2024. The first compact commission meeting. Interstate compact, meeting. Not our committee, the interstate compact,
Number one.
right, November 2020. And we've been meeting since that time, okay? And that's all public record. It's all on the internet. You can go to the social work compact. Yep, remember I've been providing y'all reports. Okay, so with that being said, what you have before you is the implementation guide that's being rolled out for states.
By one?
Say it again, Doc.
By one? By committee, by the.
Oh, this is from the full commission. This is
Okay.
from the full social work compact commission, okay? So just a little backstory. So the commission meets every so often, 2 times a year mostly, but the committees meet every month. So the executive committee meet every month. I serve on that. The rules committee has been meeting just about every month. I've been serving on that, right? Drafting these rules. Just like how our process is. Come before committee, go through committee, go to executive committee, go to executive committee, then go to the full commission, okay? And so where we are right now is that the goal has always been to get these compact licenses started by FY 26, like the states can start doing it.
Mhm.
In my mind, I think FY 27. That's in my mind. I mean, you gotta look at all the processes that's involved. But the goal, I'm hearing from the commission, the goal has been FY 26. We'll see. I think they're kind of ambitious, but we'll see. So there's been a lot of work around that. But what you have before you is the draft, which was approved from the last commission meeting, but took place last week. It was about how the implementation is going to roll out for states, right? It explains to you about the multi-state license structure. It talks to you about criminal background checks, what the fees will be. It doesn't have a cost for the fees, right? So, but it's asking the boards to take a look at the implementation guide and use this as a way to start engaging in dialogue and conversation on how this is going to roll out for your state. That's why you have it in front of you, okay? Understand and know that each state that's in the compact is 30 states. They serve as the home state. An individual home state has decided to will be part of this compact. You have to have a license in your home state that's part of a compact to get access to the other licenses. Best way I can explain it to you, right? So if your state is not part of that compact, your home state is not part of that compact, you cannot get access to have a license to practice in the state. So right now it's only 30, okay? All right, looking at this for us, I think right now what's important is for us to start thinking about licensing fees. The Compact Commission is going to bring some recommendations about it in front of everyone to have that conversation about what the fees will look like, you know, what a range of fees would be, that kind of thing. So the board may have to weigh in, you know, on how much we would charge to get access to that multi-state license. Okay, we have to look in how much, well, we're gonna have to hire somebody to just do the multi-state license. You know, we may have to hire another licensed analyst. You know, what's it gonna be the cost for the board overall, you know, in managing all of this, okay? So that's something for us to be thinking about as well. The data, you know, the system. Right now, the commission has been in some dialogues, and RFP has gone out on what platform should be used, right? To make sure that platform can integrate in all of these different states' platforms. How does that go? What's the cost associated with that? We've had RFPs, everything ranging from $250,000 to $1 million to have the data system
And who's
established.
gonna absorb some of that cost?
So as it stands right now, and that's a great question. As it stands right now, there was a HRSA grant that was written by the Association of Social Work Boards. They were able to obtain a HRSA grant, $150,000 a year as a startup for the compact, okay? But as we all know, 150K is not gonna cover the cost of the database and staff and all of those people that, you know, just putting it together. I mean, 150,000 will go but so far. Right now, the Compact Commission works along with the Council on State Governments with doing a lot of the startup.
Is
Okay.
ASWB on the executive committee?
ASWB is on the executive committee.
Who's the rep?
The council, I'm sorry,
Who's the rep?
Jennifer Henkel. So the committee is comprised of 4 state commissioners, right? Chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, members at large, and ex officio members. Ex officio members do not vote. So ASWB don't vote. ASWB does not vote. NASW does not vote. the clinical social workers, the ex officio, they do not vote either. So those people do not vote. They do not make any decisions.
How long they
from
stay on the
voting.
commission?
I'm sorry,
Ex
Melissa?
officio, how long do they stay on?
So
ex
this is what I'm
officio?
gonna let you do. I'm gonna recommend that y'all go to the website and read all this information
If you
too as
could give it to
well.
me, because I tried to find it.
Social work, if you Google social work commission,
I did.
compact, try it again. Social work compact.
Okay.
Try to Google social work license and compact and it should come up.
And I have a question.
And the
You-
bylaws and the documents and all that information can go,
I
is
just gonna say, I
available.
didn't see the commission, I didn't see who was on the executive committee, that's why I asked.
Okay, well, all that information that you're asking me, and I appreciate, I understand you asking, but I just don't have time to go through all that with you.
You said
It's
that
on the
they
website.
applied for the grant, correct?
I'm
You
sorry.
said that they applied for the.
Yeah, they got the HRSA grant.
Okay, so they received it. So right now we have 30 states that are within this multi-compact. So this grant will apply to those 30 states, or are they going to have, or are we in terms of the state of Louisiana?
emailed it to
We would
Oh,
have
yeah, I got
to,
it, let's see.
in terms of Louisiana, we would
Okay,
have to
I didn't see it.
apply to receive this grant, and hopefully we would.
No, we don't have to apply. The grant is for the compact commission. The states
Okay.
don't apply for that, okay?
Okay,
So that HRSA grant is for the compact commission.
all right.
That's not for the state, okay? So I hope I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. We don't apply for a grant. The $150,000 HRSA grant was used as startup funds to start up the commission.
Oh,
The
okay,
commission, not the,
Oh,
not
okay.
state, okay, all right.
okay.
So all this information, I'm going to encourage you to go to the website, look at the bylaws, look at all of this stuff. All that's there on the website, okay? So I'm back to, giving you an update about the meetings. The compact data system, there's a cost associated with that. The commission has been getting proposals for anywhere from $250,000 to $1 million in terms of the data system and how to keep all this data. At this time, a data system was selected at the last meeting. There's a cost associated with that. The commission sent out requests for funding to help support these ongoing costs. It was $150,000 to move us so far. The commission sent out a request to the ex officio members for support. And only one ex officio member provided a guarantee for funding. Okay, and said that they'll be happy to, not happy, but they will be providing the funding. Well, they might be happy,
Yeah,
but,
they are.
right,
They happy, they vested.
right. So, and they were the only one that responded. So my response to that is that if a funding letter went out, it went out to, and if the commissioners are saying, submit the funding letter to everybody, let them know that this commission, this compact wants, we want to get this going. And we only get one individual that sends back and say, we'll give you some money.
Is that
Then-
3 out of the 3?
It's out of my understanding, the funding letter went to all of the ex officio members and whoever that's associated with wanting to get the compact going. A funding letter went out.
Okay, so
It
you're not talking about the 3
far-reaching.
on the executive committee, you're talking about.
That in addition to whoever
Okay.
that is part of social work, to my understanding. Now, I'm not on the funding committee. I'm not the finance chair, but I saw the letter. And I didn't send a letter, but I know the letters went out. And all the letters went out, asking for funding. And only one entity responded with, okay, we'll commit to the funding to get the compact.
Like, guess who that was?
The Association of Social Work Boards.
Okay.
They got millions of dollars. That's probably
So-
the only one. They have millions of dollars. They make more than any nonprofit in.
So I don't want to get into a point of personal privilege on this because I think that that's not the direction we want to go. All I'm doing is
I keep
providing the-
emphasizing that
I'm
only
providing
one
the report.
paid. That's why.
I'm only providing a report, Melissa, so I'm not gonna get into a point of personal privilege on this matter, because that's not appropriate. I'm just telling you the facts, right, where we are.
And so you got a quote? Y'all got a quote from You said something else.
So-
Y'all selected a data provider?
Yeah, and I don't have it on top of my head
Okay.
right now. Y'all gotta watch the video. I'm just trying to be as I'm just trying to be as thorough as I'm trying to give you an update, because I can't
I
take up the whole
appreciate it.
thing.
This is really
Thank you,
interesting.
thank you.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So, with that being said, so where we are right now is what's before you about the implementation guide, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. So right now, our board needs to really start looking at the fees we might want to assess, right? We might need to, and the reason why I said that, we gotta look to see if we're gonna, like I said, have to hire somebody, who's gonna manage that in this office. The cost that may be associated with that. We're gonna need to look at our platform to see if it can integrate in with this new system. And we don't have all of that information in front of us to make the informed decision. I'm just sharing you where we are. Okay, yeah, it was coming. The interstate compact is gonna be a heavy lift, and it's gonna require all of us to be a part of this, decision-making process, right? We have state boards that are smaller than us. There's a couple of states out there, they have 2 or 3 people working in their office, and they were concerned about the undertaking as well. Anything else about this? I'm just trying to, the next full commission meeting is in November. And y'all have been meeting just about every month. The next full commission meeting is in,
Is that
next rules
virtual
commi-
or-
it's all virtual, it's public. All these meetings have been public.
I know, but if
Mhm.
y'all, because I know for some of the meetings, then people go
Virtual.
in person.
We only went in person that one time, and that was the very first one, we went in person. They all have been virtual. They all are accessible to the public, just like ours. Our minutes, the minutes go ahead of time, the agendas, the schedules, the documents, all that go ahead of time. On that website, you'll find that. Yep, the November meeting, there's a virtual option and an in-person option. Our board is not funding that for me to go. But I will be going in person, but we're not requesting the board to pay for that, for me to go. So that's not gonna be a cost for our board.
I would hope they would have paid.
Yeah.
But I know they're,
So I do have a question. The home state, and I got a question about the home state does the home state require where your physical address is, or can a person just declare what their home state is, or has that not?
No, it's your physical address.
It's your physical address.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I wanted to know, because my biggest concern about the compact for Louisiana, it's not the same for everybody, is that we're going to lose clinicians because other states pay higher rates. So we're gonna lose clinician. Is there any way
Higher rates in what?
in a lot of things, like even reimbursements for Medicaid, reimbursements for different things like, so in Louisiana, we may reimburse for a service that is, $21, and they may do the same thing in Illinois or in California, that's $75 for now. So I'm just, and that's just my hypothesis. I don't know if that's the case, but is there a way that we can track those people who use our state as a home state, and they go outside, and then just try to keep in touch in terms of where they practice predominantly?
Okay, so it sounds like, so let me see if I can explain what I'm understanding you're saying. So your home state, in order to get access to the multi-state compact license, you have to already be licensed in your home state. That's first and foremost. So it's not like somebody could say, oh, I want to live in Louisiana, and so I'm gonna just claim that as my state, and I'm gonna go get all these other licenses. It doesn't work like that. The multi-state compact will be extended to those who are already existing with a social work license, right? And so you would have to have that first. So your home state has to say, this person has met all of these qualifications, and now they have the opportunity to apply for the multi-state. And it's also not an automatic. So you can have a single state license and not have a multi-state. You could have a single state and say, you know what, I don't even want a multi-state. I only want to just practice in Louisiana, you know, and I just want a home state. I just want to do that. I can just do a single state license. So I hope that kind of answered that question a little bit.
I have a little more. I think what you're pointing to is, providers coming from other states and billing on persons here and being able to be reimbursed at a higher rate.
What? No, I definitely don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think that- okay.
I don't think out-of-state providers, they may be able to increase their quantity by
Right.
coming here. What I'm saying is that I'm just overall just trying to see or put it out there that we be able to track the number of our providers, our home state providers who have acquired, because I heard what you're saying, that they have to get the approval from us
Right.
to say that, you know, Melissa meets all the requirements and now she can, she's
If she
approved.
chooses to.
Right, she's approved to
If she
apply.
chooses to.
So we know that Melissa was approved to apply. But once Melissa gets approved for the multi-state license, that we would be able to track the number of our clinicians who are approved for the multi-state license.
Yeah, we gonna have that. We have to have that. That's gonna be in the database.
Yeah,
That's gonna be in the multi-state compact database because that's gonna be aligned, you know, connected. Our databases will be connected. So we'll be able to track how many multi-state licenses that we've issued. Is that what your question is?
So
definitely-
those clinicians will be able to spend their time working with patients out of state, making more money than they would in
No
Louisiana.
doubt. I mean,
Okay.
not no doubt.
But-
That's my hypothesis.
Yeah, but
Come
I'm
on,
trying to
come
follow
on,
where you're
Doc.
going, but I
This
got,
is the thing.
yeah. We can't
Like, we
control
can't
that.
control
No, we definitely can't control
Yeah,
that.
I get what you're saying. I just was trying to understand
just-
what you, okay.
Because I'm just trying to say that I think just on the front end, and I hear what you're saying, that's
We
why
can't
I
control
asked.
that.
No, I know we can't control that. That's not even my goal. I just was saying that for us to track that, to be aware
Need to
of
be in
that.
the database.
Right.
It's gonna be in the database,
And
the
to watch
number
it to
of.
make sure we
Yes.
still have clinicians available. for
Correct.
Louisiana.
That's all I want to
But
be
this is
able
the thing,
to.
we're gonna always have clinicians available for Louisiana, and the standpoint is that clinician has to have the home state license. They cannot, they
We
cannot
get
just,
that.
right,
That's
and
not
so
what I'm saying.
I don't know
That's
if
what
I
I'm-
can, I don't even know if I can assess if we have enough clinicians for the state of Louisiana right now.
We don't.
We don't.
That's to the
That's
point.
my-
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right, so I can't, so, and I don't know how that's the board,
And
I don't know how the board can
think
do
it's-
that.
No one's looking to you.
Right,
for
I mean, you
answers.
personally, I know,
Right.
Not at all.
But I think it's just a discussion, like we need to figure out how to safeguard, like what's best for Louisiana and think about that and incorporate what potential problems may arise for the state of Louisiana. And if there's anything we could do to mitigate that or to be aware of it so we can be prepared.
Right,
for it. Yeah.
that's a big
Just
thing,
what you-
that's a big thing to chew and
Yeah.
swallow. I appreciate you bringing it up, but that is a lot to swallow and digest. I don't know how to help with that.
Question. With
Sure.
our database, Melissa, thank you for the question. With our database regarding funding, with that to be aligned with other states regarding funding, will the multi-state compact assist with, the funding in terms of the covalent system?
No,
Oh,
covalent
okay,
is
that
our
is-
system.
Right, it's our
So, no.
system, but for them to be aligned so
No,
that we can track
that's
that.
gonna
Like, are they
be-
gonna give states funds?
Yeah, so that we
Yeah,
can track it,
that's a
so that
good
we can be
question.
aligned.
No,
Beautiful.
no.
Why?
So what, no, because, no.
There's probably 30 different systems.
Right, there's a bunch of different systems, and so the system that the compact is selecting, the intention of the system that the compact selecting will be able to integrate with the other, you know, with the 30 systems. That's the hope, right? So what's being selected, well, that's the hope that was,
So it's gonna integrate with covalent.
that's the hope.
But there.
Yeah, but
I
we have
mean,
30 different systems, right? And that's number one. Number two, there's a component where that system is selected. Our board would have access to put
That's-
data and information in that system.
So, but that's gonna
happen.
be more work on our
That's what's gonna happen.
analyst
That's what she
and our
said.
administrator.
And this is
That's the
why
position.
our conversation should be more on, will we need to hire another person?
And
Will
why
we-
we, and what
and
we
that-
need to charge to cover that cost.
Exactly, so that's where we at, Melissa,
That's
and
for
that's what I want us to be thinking about as a board. We have to be very intentional about that as well. what that's going to cost to get that multi-state
Right.
It's
conference.
likely going to be the latter. It's more, I mean, because you know how hard it is. These computer systems are like you say, it doesn't surprise me that you got 1 million. It's more than likely that they will have a database that each one of the states can access and
Yes,
be able
ma'am.
to do whatever they need to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's what my question was, just so we can be able to track. You know, are 30% of the licensed clinicians getting multi-state
We
license?
will,
That's important.
that system will allow,
That's awesome.
and I mean, of course, you know, y'all, I'm not the chair of the commission, but I sit on the executive committee. I want to tell you that they have been working hard to make sure that the system that we get is user-friendly. These are social workers. We don't have time to be pulling back all these layers.
Right.
You know, we want to make sure that it's user-friendly, that it's accessible, you know, that these states are able to get what they need out of there. So to your point, yes, that database is going to show, right? There's also going to be a disciplinary component in it, you know, like
Yeah.
people are flagged, you know, that's in there, you know. So there are a lot of things that's going on with that. And as we get closer to that, I'm certain that the commission will have a video or something out to explain this a little bit more in depth.
I have another question about the
Yes,
system.
go ahead.
In, with Louisiana specifically, how we passed the ADA requirements, are they taking that same type of information and incorporating it into the system? So we
Yeah,
don't have
all
to,
of that.
so all the costs would be, they would have that information.
So it's looking like this database may be about $1 million.
Mhm.
You're looking at $1 million investment.
And they got 150,000
Thousand.
plus a commitment.
They got that though.
So the $150,000, you can't even bank on that no more, right? Cause that's only once a year.
Yeah.
You gotta
That's the-
pay your
the
staff.
taxes.
Yeah, you gotta, no, they didn't get the million. I didn't say that. And I don't want.
No, I'm
oh,
saying the 150 will end up being a tax for it with, by
The
the time you look at all the
150,000
costs.
is the HRSA grant money,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
And that money is every year. And that money is covering the cost of the existing staff right
The
now.
staff,
Right?
that just,
Existing staff that's helping the commission set up. It's only for setup.
and it ain't enough, cause 100,000 is not.
$150,000 is not enough, right? And so then you got the ask for the funding, and the ask we asked for was for the database.
So so the plan is to raise the funds for the cost of the system, or is that potentially, some of that cost potentially gonna go to the states that are?
No, right now, the only ask was funding for the database.
That's what I mean, that's what I'm talking about, for the database. Like, so they only
The
got
money
one
that
committee,
money is
$1
all to
million.
pay, no, that money is all to pay for the commission database.
So, the
They
additional
don't have the
question,
money, huh? They don't have the money?
Can I say this?
The money, let me answer James.
Yeah.
So the funding request,
Mhm.
the dollars that we get from the funding request, all of those dollars are gonna go to that, to create.
Right, but they
that
don't have
platform.
enough at this point. It's not like they're far away from enough, or,
With the commitment of that one
or
ex
that one,
officio,
they made a large enough commitment to cover the cost?
yeah, the
Okay,
ex
okay, okay.
officio
Okay,
has committed to provide funding for the database.
yeah, I heard you say that, I didn't know it was enough to cover, I thought it was
Well,
another
we
small.
hope it's enough to cover,
Okay.
but it looks like it might be, but I can't go on record to
You can't
speak that,
say,
because I'm
okay.
not the financial.
I just wanted to know if there was the potential for them to come to the states and say, you need to give us this much money for the database.
No, I have
Okay.
not, that is not the intention at
No,
all.
yeah.
And I have not heard that the commission will be asking the states for money for the
Okay.
database. I have not heard that, and that's also not on this guide, okay?
Thank you.
It's on the commission to acquire the funding for that database,
Okay.
and only one entity, funding letters went out, let me say that 6 times. Funding letters went out, and only one entity committed to provide funding towards the database. Yes, go ahead.
So,
Kennedy.
I'm thinking long-term. So regarding, the salary, the funding for this analyst that we would have to hire,
Potentially.
potentially. So let's say this, is it gonna be a yearly license or maybe a multi-year license?
So we'll, and that's the part, and
Because-
that's a good question.
Yeah, because we
Kennedy.
have to think about funding this individual. Let's say, for instance, the licensee may say, oh, well, this doesn't work for me. I'm not getting clients So I'm not gonna renew next year. And we have so many, let's say we had about 500 licensees that obtained this license. We don't have enough to cover this analyst salary. What are we gonna do?
Well, I think that that's a great point, and it's something to, when you start talking about forecasting,
Yes.
it's something to consider moving forward, like how does that look like?
Mhm.
And how would that look like? The Interstate Compact Committee sent out a survey. I think it was like last year, our committee sent out a survey. We collected data to find out how many people how many licensees in Louisiana will be interested if we went on with the Interstate Compact, and we had an overwhelming amount of licensees expressed interest. It's in the new newsletter, a couple of newsletters back. And going off that data, we went on and pursued it, right?
Right.
And so for right now, it looks like we have an overwhelming amount of interest of licensees who might want to be part of the compact. And so given those numbers, I think we are at a point now where we're pretty much comfortable we can move forward to have more conversations
So
about.
it
what
would
that
be
look like.
yearly or multi?
It's every year. It
So
would
we'll
be
do it
every
yearly.
year. It would probably most likely align what our renewal period is, which is
Okay.
annually, okay? But that was a good question. I thought it was. All right, folks. I didn't want to beat y'all up. It's a lot of work that's been going behind the scenes. I see people yawning and I appreciate that. And I'll continue to provide this information to y'all or visit the website.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I do want to say that I think we just really need to, anything that we can do as a board to promote, support licensure in the state of Louisiana. Just because there has been a lot of effort going into this multi-license. And it's because there is a shortage of clinical social workers nationwide.
Oh, I agree.
There is a shortage. And I wish this level of effort was going into addressing why there is a shortage of clinical social workers. There has been a lot of effort, as you expressed, a lot of time, a lot of energy that has gone into this multi-state license to address the loss or the few clinical social workers we have in nationwide. I really wish this level of effort was going into addressing the same issue of why people are not getting their license.
Here at home.
In the state, but across the nation. Across the nation, it is a documented issue with people becoming clinical licensed. People that we know, who we know are excellent social workers, but they have a problem passing this test. And very little effort has gone into alternative licensing options to try to get more. And I know we've done stuff in the state. I'm just saying nationally for these organizations ex officio to be putting millions, hundreds of thousands connecting. They have the resources because so many people have not passed this test. They make a whole lot of money off the failure of the test. And if they put as much effort into trying to come up with a better way for people to demonstrate it, then we wouldn't have a need for multi-state licensure. States would have clinicians that are needed in their state. So I just wanted to say that for the record. I understand why the multi-state licensure is happening, but there is another solution. And the solution could be to put this level of energy nationally into helping people pass in the clinical exam or looking at what the challenges are.
Point noted, Melissa. I appreciate that. And I think that you bring up a good point because I don't think it's only, there's not one answer to that, right? This is a systemic issue. We can go from anywhere from what the market is asking from social workers. We can also go from the education component. There's a lot of things that I think that the education side of things could do to ensure that social workers are better prepared to work with individuals in the public and are better prepared for what the market is asking of us to do as well. So I don't think it's just one-sided. I think this is multi-level issues. I think there's a lot that social work profession can do and continue to do as a whole to work to advance that. And so point noted, we just want to be mindful that this is something that is a systemic issue and it's not just one quick answer to resolve. So, so we'll move on to that point noted. We have lunch that's here, y'all. And, I'm noticing that people are getting a little, and I am very observant. Next slide, give me maybe about 5 more minutes and we can break for lunch. 8683 is the number of licensees that it froze up probably.
That's renewed?
8,683 licensees we have as of August 31st, but keep in mind, there's another about 1,000. Let me pull that up. I got the data. Hold on.
That's a cute car thief.
We have another 1,074 who are lapsed in renewal right now. And that will probably bring our numbers back up to 9,757. The lapse renewal, of course, is until February 2028. I mean, February 28, 2025, people have to, 2026 to have to do that. That will bring our numbers back up to 9,757, but as of right now, we have 8,683. Okay, so people still have time. 1,074 people who are lapsed in renewal right now. Okay,
Okay.
all right. You can go to the next slide. Our staff, want to take this time to thank our staff for everything. They are adapting to change, y'all. They're embracing agility. They respond more quickly, effectively to the needs of the public and unforeseen challenges. And I don't know how they do it, but we are grateful for them. They are staying ahead, proactively embracing change and continuously coming up ways of innovation. You saw Sarah in her pink paper, her orange sheet. There are things that Blake is doing in retention that I do need to talk to you guys about to let y'all know what's going on. But our staff is doing the best that they can. We have a new statute as it relates to the restricted certified social worker. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but our staff is really doing everything that they can. I always tease them. I say, y'all making bricks without straw, and they are doing just that. Some of the accomplishments from FY 25, proposed promulgation of 70 new rules. Y'all, that's transformative change. When I tell people that nationwide, they can't believe it. They like, how y'all did that in Louisiana? I'm like, let me show you. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I always brag about us. I brag about our board. I brag about what we do. Launched a new license platform. Now, y'all, we did all this in 1 year. Launched a new license platform. Creation of that customized supervision model. And I want to tell you that supervision committee was part of that. We went through layers. Emily D'Angelo, part of that. Gina Signorelli, our supervision consultant, part of that. We literally did everything we can to make sure we customize that supervision model based on the request of the public, the directives given by the board. That supervision committee, we worked hard, and I want to again thank them and thank everybody that had their hand in that customization of that module. Again, I talked about being elected to the Interstate Compact Commission as member at large. That's exciting, y'all. It's a great opportunity. And let me tell you, when y'all be telling me stuff, they laugh because the way I am with y'all as chair is more lovingly than when I'm somewhere else. They'll go, what's going on with McKee? But I have some more of these. I have more of my vice chair and my treasurer's personality when I'm in other places. But as your chair,
And you do now, don't you is one of us.
We are
One.
we all
One board.
So I do, they laugh and they're like, and I'm like, that's my, and sometimes I'll tell Emily, I'll say my vice chair came out today. She was like, yeah, that was a Jamie move. That was a Melissa move. But I'm saying to say, when y'all say these things, I want y'all to know, I take it back. I'm listening to you. And although we may not always agree, I take back your voice because your voice matters to me and you represent, you are our board. So I do take back Trinity. I take back your recommendations as well. Board chair appointed in-state compact commission as rules committee. So yes, y'all, Yes, I had to draft with the committee 4 rules for the commission. Wasn't easy, but I had a lot of practice being with y'all on how drafting those rules. So we were able to get 4 of those rules drafted and be in front of the full commission in November.
Yay.
All right, FY 26 vision, we going quick. All right, y'all. We can take a break and take lunch and then come back to FY 26 vision because we only have like 2 more slides after that. So do y'all want to eat real quick, take a break, come back on? I really think we can do I think we're working through the schedule pretty good, okay? So we're gonna break. It's 12:32. Y'all won't come back at 1? You wanna have a 30-minute lunch break? All right, we'll come back at 1 o'clock and we'll resume with our FY 26 vision. All right. We're done.
I have a question. Wait, I'm sorry, before we break.
Before we break. Huh?
What about going into executive session now and doing lunch, so we don't come out, meet? You see what I'm saying? Like, we could go.
No, I don't think so. We're gonna need a little longer.
I know, but instead of doing 30 minutes, we could do it a little longer, so we could, maybe not, but instead
No, I don't
of, you see
think
what I'm
so.
saying, coming out,
I don't think
doing
so.
public, then going back out in executive session and coming back to the
When we
public.
come
it
back
would
to the
just-
public, it'll be something quick and final to go. I think we need to leave it the way it is. I have a reason for that.
Okay.
Please trust me on that.
Okay, that's fine, I just was.
We're gonna take our lunch break at 30 minutes, okay?
All
Trust me on that.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back at 1. Thank y'all so much.
Recording stopped.
Please go help us. Yeah. She just gotta hit and share. Right here?
No, yeah, right there.
Yes, sir. Oh, guess what? It's good to know people in high places.
And great outfits.
Not that way.
I have really gotten into jumpsuits. They are great till you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is so cute. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. You can see it. Okay, great. All right, we're gonna go right on to the next slide. Thank you so much. All right, so the next vision, you know, every fiscal year, we come together as a board and we discuss what the vision is for FY 26. Some of this information was. We're gonna do that in just a second here. Some of that was shared a little bit in the newsletter that just came out. But I just want to talk to you a little bit about what we are doing. The efficiency component has a lot to do with our records retention process, okay? So we are doing everything that we can to streamline that record retention process. I want to share with you that I'm excited to let you know that Blake Williamson, our staff member, has taken a lead on that and has assisted our administrator with that and wants to do it and seems to be very knowledgeable about it. A little bit about that. You know, we have a lot of paper, right? And so the goal is to really move from paper to electronic as much as possible, right?
Great.
We've been having some dialogues. There's 2 types of papers. There's one that's two types of documents. One that's born as paper, and then there's one that is born digital. So the goal is to try to get the documents that are born paper to transfer them to digital, and the ones that are born digital to keep them digital, right? Also the ones that have been born paper, looking at different ways of how we can transfer them to be in a digital space and which ones do we keep and discard, okay? So if you look at our current retention plan, we have we keep in applications indefinitely. So if you can imagine storing all of those papers from all of these years, all of the licensees, applications, documents, supervision contracts, and all of that. So we have basically ran out of space to keep all of those documents, okay? So licensee files is something that we want to look at and try to make that digital. We even have where we keep all the correspondences in paper. That's a lot of paper. Okay. So we need to really have more dialogue on what we need to retain and what we need to let go.
So are you
So-
saying that people, when they write us, we print it and keep the hard copy?
We keep everything that's in here. We keep applications, correspondence, supervision forms, verification forms, renewals.
So
We
if they
keep 'em.
email it, we print it and keep it in paper? Or do we?
Yes, right? Are you printing the emails, Emily?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It depends on the level of importance.
Okay.
So if we're just saying, collection period is something, we're not gonna print that.
And we
But-
have a storage facility that's off-site, so.
I understand all that. I just was
Yeah.
trying to
And
understand.
is that
We
capacity?
were just keeping stuff that was written into us, or we're printing electronic and keeping the written copy.
So,
So I
Sometimes.
I get it, she
Why
answered.
do you print the more important stuff? You think it's gonna go away?
Because our retention on our emails isn't,
Indefinite.
indefinite.
Oh, it's not permanent. Oh.
so here's my question. And I'm not here, to advertise a specific brand, but.
So don't say the brand name.
Yeah, because I think we all know where I'm going, but there's something that's called the cloud. So I'm not sure if we can invest in that type of thing or not, but what I can say is that I think Mr. Williamson is on the right track when it comes to transferring files that are not already digitized, to make them digital, or transferring documents that can be, let's say, a Word document, maybe a PDF document, something that we could possibly type into. So what about those documents that are email documents? We can make we can print those documents that have been emailed by our licensees and make a folder. Maybe it's gonna, for each licensee, it may call for us to obtain more hard drive space, obtain jump drive, or purchase more cloud space. We may have to allow Emily and her team more access to funding, and that's gonna come from our treasury and secretary. She may not want to give us access to the purse strings, to the funding, but or we can purchase those jump drives and save them on USB memory sticks so that we can have that. And that's going to alleviate some of that space that we don't have at the storage facilities, but we can keep those jump drives and we can always plug them in to.
Now, let me tell you this. Best practices, and I don't want a company, but I know companies are moving away from using USB drives, and because there's so many safety issues around that, so typically
cloud.
people don't promote the jump drives or the
So
USB
that's
drives.
why
I
I
haven't
speak
heard
up.
any company, and I'm just saying, companies typically don't want you to use USB drives and jump drive. But I will say this, when I look at the record retention schedule, and I'm happy to share it with y'all, one of the biggest pieces we need to determine is how long are we going to keep these licensees applications, how long are we gonna retain it? Now, on our retention schedule, we have indefinitely. So what I want us as a board to think about is
On what
5 to
schedule?
10 years,
on our retention schedule.
then
Yeah.
5 to 10 years, just like.
We have to
But I
decide,
haven't done that yet.
we have to decide that. How long are we
Keeping the
keeping it?
application.
Yeah, how long are we keeping it? How long we keeping the applications? How long we keeping the correspondence?
Can
How
we
long
keep it as long as the person's licensed? Is that too long?
That's forever. I mean, we got people that are. I've been licensed for a
Because
long
The
time.
reason I say that, because the issue is going to be persons moving to a different state and needing the documentation
This is
of like the hours of supervision.
Mhm.
This
That
is
they,
true.
like some states, you have to send them your log, your supervision log. And so if we get rid of you know, I know people reach out looking for that information,
Mhm.
so just trying to resolve
Some
that.
states do still ask the states to actually provide the actual log. This is true, Jamie.
Yeah,
And,
so that's why I was just saying, maybe
they
the,
do.
maybe while the person.
But the supervision.
Supervision law.
Oh, like you gotta
So
show
some
like.
of the problems is bigger than Louisiana in that other jurisdictions are requiring these certain things and they're not thinking about how that impacts the
somebody-
retention schedule of that state that you asking an
Again.
information from.
Again, what I'm gonna state, so,
We heard you. We could transition into digital.
and this is
In the
where I'm
cloud.
going back.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is where, so let's nix the USB and the memory keep. The cloud. We can go to a digital platform and we can have something that's called the cloud. And we don't have enough storage capacity in our storage unit, but we have something that's called the cloud, or we can purchase the cloud where all our data is backed up and we can keep our licensee
Madam Chair, can I make
information.
a point of order?
Yes, point of
I
order.
think I think what you're saying is valid. I think what we're discussing is how long, not where we're retaining the records, but how long. we're
5 to
retaining them.
10, well,
So you don't
we
have
can
to
do it.
explain the location, right? Because that's not what we're talking about.
okay, so then if it needs to be forever, then we can keep certain information forever, but certain information can be 5 to 10 years. And let me tell you why I say
So
5 to 10
Trinity, so
years.
that's what we're asking right now, sir.
Right.
What, and and
It-
point of order, and I want to stop you because I don't want to, I really want us to get to that point, man. And so what I'm asking for the board to consider is this. How long should we retain, to Jamie's point, applications, correspondences, licensee files? How long should we retain that? I heard Vice Chair said, as long as the person is licensed in the state of Louisiana. I heard that as a recommendation for the licensee applications, right? That whole license.
Yeah.
But what about
I
this
agree.
correspondence piece? All the correspondences that we get into as well, we've been holding on that indefinitely too. What do we do about that? In my mind, I'm thinking, once a motion has been made and it's been acted upon, I don't know how long we should be
It-
holding on to that particular correspondence.
It
You know what I mean? Like if
depends.
it was actionable.
Should we treat it like medical records? What is that, 5, 7 years?
It's 7 years.
Seven
That's
years.
why I said 5
Seven
to
for
10
fed- for
years. It
federal
depends on.
And I'm happy for us to, if we want to do that, I'm happy for, that would be a policy. Would that be a policy or rule?
So whatever your retention schedule, you have to, have it approved by the Secretary of
Right.
State's office.
Right.
So I think in terms of licensing files, it might be good to look at another licensing agency. I had looked up when we had this discussion before, looked for some, and I had found Delgado, because they have applicants and students.
Mhm.
And a lot of their records are active plus 5 years. So it's not forever, but if you're an active licensee, I'm guessing if you don't come back, if you let it last
Mhm.
5 years, the chances of, that's not always true.
That's
Of
not
you
a
coming
bad
back.
idea.
Something like that. Correspondence is not a record set.
Okay.
Correspondence is related to the subject matter. So like if the correspondence is, I'm asking you about my supervision credit or whatever, that's really part of your license file. It's not general correspondence. Some of the correspondences you all deal with are related to supervision. General correspondence is generally under the Secretary of State is a minimum of 3 years. But that would be somebody like, writing in to ask, what's the process to apply or
Right,
do
like
you
we have-
reciprocal?
sometimes we have those general correspondence.
Those general things.
We also have those ones that's tied to the licensee or the,
Right, even if you just look at the agenda from yesterday,
Yep,
today, those
yep.
correspondences would fall in different categories.
so, they would. And some of those correspondences, we have to go in that licensee's file, if you will, not application, but in their file.
Do we currently put that in their file? I would think not, but.
Probably not. It's so much paper.
Persons, what if they appeal our decision?
That's
Like
what
the-
I would think you would need it.
Some of them were denied.
Like you said, if
Yeah.
it's actionable, because we might vote on something and then they appeal it, then we would need to have that information. But I guess once the appeal process has been exhausted, you wouldn't.
Mhm.
What, let me, do you got like one of the requests for supervision like sometimes you're getting them 3 years, 2 years. One of them was for a couple hours at the beginning of the supervision, so they're gonna be under supervision for several years. So you wouldn't want to get rid of that before they get.
If, I have another question too. So if a person, let's just say hypothetically, a person say, I asked the board for advice on this situation and they told me that I could provide therapy to my daughter. And that's not what happened, but that would be in correspondence, right? So how long would they have to sue us for that? Like, how long would we have, you know what I mean? Like, I wanna know, we could go back and make a defense and we didn't get rid of the evidence. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's a complicated question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If it was I was looking for the. Like you could, how long could you charge them for a violation of the rules?
Like, and that as
Right?
well,
Because
like,
if that wound up in a disciplinary case later, and, you know, the licensee wants to say, well, you told me I could do it.
right,
You issued this letter saying I could do it. That's why I did it.
right.
And if you wouldn't have said I could do it, I would have never done it. And now you're charging me with a violation of the ethics standard or something. So, I mean, things related to licensing, Bob, really, that deal with the practice of a licensee or whatever, they kind of need to stay as long as you have the active. It's when somebody lets their license lapse, how long do you keep it? And in some professions, more than others, people come and go.
So I like what both of y'all was saying about one, when you say as long as a person is licensed, we can specify as long as it's active.
As long as they're active.
Yeah, that's in the
So
DOCA.
I like
I like
that,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
I like that. And so it sounds like we're meeting in the middle. So as long as the person has an active license, we will retain the record,
Everything.
the file, right? Now, once the person becomes inactive, now we haven't made a motion on this, so please, y'all don't be reprinting me on Facebook saying that this is what we, because that's what happens. And I'm
Burn it
just saying,
all
right
up.
now, this is called strategic planning.
Get rid of everything.
So, right, so please, we just strategic plan. So active, right, keep it. Inactive, as soon as somebody gets in an inactive status, then what? So that's what we gotta have.
The 5 years then.
So that's what we have to talk about, yeah. So if we looking at, so Jamie's saying 5, somebody said about medical record 7. So this is what I'm gonna ask to do. I'm gonna bring this information back to Blake, talk with Blake, talk with him, and then Blake, go ahead, Sherry.
The one thing is, you all haven't had the rules that are proposed would
Right.
allow, like an inactive status, but right now you don't really have an active status, right? They would just have a lapsed license. And so
Mhm.
particularly with women who have children, sometimes they leave for 10. I have a friend that's a social worker. She never worked while her kids were in school and went back when they were in high school. So we want to make sure that the period and for the records before the rule becomes effective is maybe a longer period of time, but then if you have a way to keep your license in an inactive status, then maybe you don't need that longer period of time, because you could keep your inactive status without letting it lapse and.
I think we would just, I hear you. But I also think we would, whatever direction we go in, send out some sort of mass communication, letting people know that we are not retaining, like, this is our plan. And so pretty much if it's something in here you need to come get it. Or you need to maintain copies of your own records, because really, there's nothing saying you should not retain copies of your own records, digitally, paper, whatever, you know, so.
Yeah. I mean, so, yeah. So again, I'm hearing that active, we keeping the file. This is what we're talking about. But there is a point in there when people license lapse, when people, like someone dies, we shouldn't be holding on to that record. So can we agree that if the licensee is deceased, we can let the records go? Can I start there?
There's no case that's pending.
I don't know if there's a case pending. If the person is deceased,
I would,
how is
I would
there a
apply the
case
same
pending?
5 years thing there.
Okay, wait, so let me understand this. If the person is deceased,
What kind of case?
what case?
Like a
is-
malpractice case.
It doesn't go away if they die, right?
I don't know, but what they need
What
records
would
from
they-
us.
Yeah, what would they need?
Because they want to demonstrate that you.
Something about like an estate or.
Somebody complained about the same thing or.
What.
So we need some research on this.
Well, it might be a different retention period for somebody that's deceased versus somebody inactive.
So that's what we need to
Sure.
work on, okay? I'm just putting this on your mind. Inactive, active, deceased, those kinds of things. Because if someone died 10 years ago, I don't know
Yeah.
why the board is still, why we don't have the capacity to hold on those documents. Okay, so we're gonna need to do some research on that. Criteria we're gonna be working on for retention is what's vital, what's important, and what's useful. Okay, that's the three, y'all. Need y'all help. Vital, important, and useful in those categories. So let's be thinking about that as board members. Okay? And Blake is gonna help support with us and get that criteria. Okay? All right, that's efficiency. All right. Enhancement, moving on. Technology, y'all, we got a brand new platform and we are excited about it. We have our little TV y'all see in front of here and stuff. But we don't have a tech staff person. You see how we go, I be looking right over there. Okay, Jamie, you know, and if Jamie out, then what? Because Melissa don't be jumping on a computer and I don't either. So, you know, so again, we had, she said she's a singer. So in reality, the tech component, we want to thank Bora for all the work that she contributed to the board in that tech support. She was phenomenal and fantastic, and she is missed. But moving forward, when we start talking about technology, Trinity brought up a point about the cloud, and those are good ideas, you know, thinking about, you know, where to store stuff. But also under technology, we need to talk about social media, right? How we getting our messaging out, how we getting information out. We do have a Facebook page. Do we have Instagram too, Emily?
No, and I'm terrible about posting on Facebook.
And she's terrible about posting on Facebook. So we being authentic, right? So we looking at different ways to enhance that.
Did we get an intern?
Or we tried. Melissa, we have tried, and me and you, I'm happy to talk more offline with you on that because, and I'll talk to you more offline about that. Because you know, there's certain requirements with that, okay?
It seemed like this would be a great learning opportunity.
We talked about it, but we gotta talk about what kind, right? Because it won't be a social worker, it might be from another discipline, so I'll talk to you offline, okay? But that's the technology component, okay, y'all? So just, you know, we're still working through some kinks with the platform. We get calls, but I think the staff has done a really good job of, did y'all see how they put out the step-by-step on how to utilize Covalent? Did
I
y'all
didn't
see
see
that?
it.
Oh, they did a fantastic job. They literally said, click here, and if this come up, click here. And they did it on a constant contact. And that question come up, don't click that one, click this one. Like, it was very thorough. So I don't know what staff member put that together, but they did that in the Covalent. And Emily, do you think that was helpful? Did that decrease some of the calls you think that you got? Because y'all did get ahead of it. In the beginning, it was, but you started to do some stuff. What you think? Did it decrease? Did it increase? It's okay to be authentic. We have strategic plan.
Well, it's a little disappointing when, you send out post it on the website, you send out a constant contact, and you spend over $3,000 mailing a letter that gives the same steps, and you still get a lot of calls. But when you look at how many licensees we have, I think it was helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a good way to frame it, because we know we're gonna still get calls, right? It's almost 9,000 of them. But we wanna continue to encourage people to read the steps. If we send the constant contact out, do that. Look at the website. We got the information there. And then call us, right? Right? And so again, we're one of the only existing boards left nationally where people actually answer the phone and talk to you. Can you
Well,
believe that?
Use them not using them.
Oh, well, well, if you saw what I saw, you would really be appreciative of what we got here in Louisiana. I'ma just say that.
I mean, when you look at
The volume.
the case ratio, so if you got 600 licensees for 4 staff members, when you divide that number,
Yes.
no social worker would work with that caseload. I mean,
Exactly.
that's a high volume, and I don't know if there is a way you can track, because I personally, I would really reconsider a limit sending stuff out in the mail, especially at that cost, right, at 3,000 costs, but, it would be interesting to know if there's some data from Constant Contact or some data that can show how many people received the message or responded to the message, because whatever you did worked.
Constant Contact shows that they opened it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look at our communications manager because our CMS, our covalent, we have a communication manager that I can use. I want to get away from Constant Contact because that's an extra expense and I want to just use the communication manager because we're already paying for that with our monthly fee that we pay, have the system. But I don't know if I can run a report like that, so I'd have to ask that question.
Yeah, it would be good to know how many people, what percentage of the people opened it, responded to it, or what have you, but the outcome was
At
pretty
least,
good.
at a minimum, open it, because at least it shows that you read it, but, again, so yeah, if we just speak, that's the enhancement, technology side of things and what we are working on doing.
The
Go
other
ahead,
thing, the other thing that kind of causes a problem, and I don't know how to fix it, is, you brought it to my attention. Remember, you were starting to type in LABSWE,
Yes.
and your computer remembers when it was under
Certimy.
Certimy.
Yep.
And so a bunch of people, they were trying to go to labswe.org, but it's directing them to when it was under Certimy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to do the instructions that we sent on the wrong thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
It is popping up, because we just switched over to Covalent. And you know how Google usually give you the little option website, and you click website, it goes to your website. Well, we don't even have that yet with our change. And then when you type in LABSWE, what Emily just said, the Certimy, the old Certimy is still, because it's still out there. It hasn't caught up with the change yet. So what we want to do is, and we'll try to do to encourage people to type in Louisiana State Board of Social Examiners, type in it, and make sure you click in it to the web page, then go in and log in. Don't just click where you see it and go to the actual LABSWE webpage and then sign in from there. Because that is where you want to get to your platform. It has not caught up yet. Because yesterday I was like, why is Certimy keep coming up, for me? And that's because it's out there. So just keeping people informed of that as well. But yeah, I mean, we are continuing to make those technology advancements. Okay, expansion is the next one. So accessibility to professionally licensed social workers. You heard us talk a little bit earlier about the interstate compact, the state implementation guide. The board is aware of that. The licensing, the interstate compact will post that on their website from the commission. So, I didn't see it there yet. So if you have any issues about that, please contact the commission, but they will post that on their website. And then also, we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but this also leads us into the RCSW scope of practice, which is Act 431. We put information about the RCSW inside our newsletter. Act 431 allows for certified social workers to petition to the board 60 days before their CSW license expires, it allows them to petition to the board, if they're practicing CPST services, to request for a restricted certified social work certification that can allow them to provide CPST only for an additional 3 years, right? So information about that was posted in the newsletter. Act 431 came through this past legislative session. And so that's part of expansion to accessibility to licensed social workers as well. Okay. Any questions about expansion? Because we're gonna move right on to the next one. Okay, super. So I want you to know we just covered D, RCSW scope of practice. That's covered too. But I just covered it on, I just covered it in the PowerPoint. All right. All right, elevation. Yeah, so elevation is exciting, y'all. This is professional development opportunities. Let me tell y'all, I brag on my state board all the time. I'm very possessive. And when I go to different places, I say the great state of Louisiana. That's how I started off. The great state, I let them know. And having that opportunity for us to continue to share what we have done, y'all, what we've done has been transformative. I mean, other states are doing things, but we did a lot in 1 year, and I'm so proud of this board. And presentation at NASW LA conference is an opportunity for us to continue to share the work that we are doing. I heard some ideas yesterday about expanding that and to talking a little bit more about some of the things that we've been doing. We'll incorporate that. And then also we have this opportunity to present at the Association of Social Work Boards Regulatory Education and Leadership Conference to talk about our supervision. Can you imagine that? To talk about what we have done in Louisiana. Y'all, we've been able to do a supervision platform, a tele-supervision statute. We didn't write the statute, you know, but we provided education towards it. Craft rules around it. I mean, we have done so much in this year,
Right.
in this time, that other jurisdictions won't know what's going on, what we're doing. I'm proud about that. And so we are going to do just that. We are going to share what we have been able to accomplish at that regulatory conference in April of 2026. So elevating, showing what we are, and any opportunity to y'all know. I know that our board staff still speaks to different universities about what we're doing. They speak to students about what the board is, and explaining to students what the licensing process is, letting them know what does it mean to get a license, what that process looks like. And if we could tell them earlier, then when they get down to their last semester, they won't feel so overwhelmed with the process. So I know that our staff continues to speak to universities as well. Board members, if you ever want to pair up with a staff member and present, let Emily know to a university, because it's good for our students to see us too as well in those presentation roles. So that covers the vision. Any questions about that for FY 26?
Is there anything that we can do to reach out to current people under supervision to have them check their contracts? I kind of thought when I first got on the board, which was 3 years ago, that, you know, this issue would curtail, but it's not. That it continues to be an issue. And see, when I first got on, it was like people started in 21, it was an issue between the paper and what have you. But now we're kind of beyond that time. And even though we're not in CERTME anymore, which should help it would be really, I think it would benefit so many of of those who are in supervision right now to have some kind of heads up to check their contracts.
Mm-hmm. And so what you're saying, Melissa, is so important, because that leads into this whole supervisees' rights piece that the supervision committee had been talking about, right? We don't want supervisees to get down to where they're about to, you know, prepare to be finished, and they don't have, and they've paid all this money. I mean, my heart breaks when somebody, you've seen it, they come before us and say, please approve our hours, please do this, please, they didn't put all this money out. And so it goes to that whole piece of that supervisee's rights and that balance, right? The responsibility of being a supervisor, but what do you have as the LMSW to say, hey, wait a minute, I did all this work. And so I hear you, encouraging people to, but part of that also goes to what our supervision consultant provides in her training. So our supervision consultant provides the trainings and talks about the responsibilities and we've had conversations where Gina Signorelli is our supervision consultant. She's an excellent consultant, I will tell you that. And she goes into detail about supervisors' responsibilities, but I know she was talking a little bit more about branching out, sharing a little bit more about supervisees' rights too. Just having some dialogue about that. But that's great.
Can I say
It
something?
is.
I recently had a discussion with an LCSW BACS in Alexandria, and it was very enlightening. What she told me, and I just had to inform her that here on this board, we see information that in the public, when we look at these packets where the licensees share that they're wanting hours to be approved because of issues that may be on the supervisor, because of a BACS, may have done something incorrectly, may not have completed the contract, but on her part, she may have done a wonderful job supervising her supervisor. I look at what Melissa said earlier. We don't have enough BACS supervisors. And I explained that to this individual who I will not name. If we can have enough social workers, enough individuals majoring in social work, if we can recruit individuals into our profession that would like to become clinical supervisors, obtain that LCSW BACS designee, and stay in Louisiana, I think that can solve some of the issues that we have. And I tried to explain that to her. And it's not that we want to place blame on our BACS or on our licensee because they may not have completed a portion on a specific contract, or there may have been an issue in CertaMe or in Covalent. It's just that, yes, as a licensee, you may have a responsibility to proofread and know what it is that we expect of you, because when you are practicing in this profession, you are responsible as a clinician for your client's well-being as that practitioner. So we must hold you accountable and responsible as a licensee seeking this particular designation as a LCSW. So
And I think you bring up a good point with that. And so part of the things that we are trying to do is, one, continue to offer those BACS certification trainings, the initials, but also encouraging BACS to take the renewal certification trainings directly from the board. Now, I know sometimes you take them from different places and stuff, but the good part about it is when it comes from our board and from the supervision consultant, in my mind, you get the opportunity to ask a little bit more questions that's related to the rules that we have, and you get to have more information about that. And so I'm thinking about ways of how we as a board can get this information out, right? So people can be more informed, so they don't come before us with all of this. And so things that we are doing as a board to help, offering those trainings, encouraging BACS supervisors to come to those trainings and come to the refresher training to learn more. We offer them a lot, and we have them in the newsletter, okay, as well. but encouraging people to come to those trainings that we are offering. I really want us to think from a standpoint of how can we as a board get this information out to people so that they don't come before compliance here? How can we avoid that and be more supportive in that way? So to your point, Trinity, yeah, Jamie, that was an excellent point to bring up.
So in helping specifically to curtail the issues with, persons supervision stuff not being done correctly in the beginning, which is what we spend a significant amount of time addressing in compliance hearings and correspondence. I think we should create a training video, 20 minutes,
That's what
30
Oh, that'd be
minutes
nice.
for supervisees
Mhm.
that they have to attest that they completed before they can start supervision. Because the training, we keep pointing to the training of the bags, but that obviously is not enough because it's not translating. When you do bags training, from my memory, and I know this is still the case, you learn that you have to have these certain elements in place. And so we've had a few situations where the banks was confused about CERTIMI, but they did something on paper, like they had something, because you know you have to have a contract and these things. But in other situations, they took the training, some of them took the training very recently, and they still didn't do what they were supposed to do. But the supervisee doesn't have access to what the banks learned in training. They're counting on the banks to do it, and then there's the ones potentially at a loss of hours. Now, they do have the practice that they can access. They can look at the, but they don't get that training. But I think we should have them attest, and that should help because they're going to get the same information.
An attestation would require a rule. That is a rule. You would have to, if you require an LMSW to be trained and it's a requirement, that is a rule.
To require them to look at a video?
That will be a rule because it's training, just like how we're requiring the backs to attend a 3-hour training in order to meet the certification criteria for backs. If you saying the LMSW.
We
is
can't do that
required,
for the policy?
We cannot do
Do they
that.
have to
for-
say they looked at a video?
If it's a training, that will be a rule.
Well, it does not necessarily have to be a requirement as much as it has to be available. So what I was thinking is if you have something on the website that says, before you start supervision, watch this, you know what I'm saying? And whether they choose to watch it, but it's something on there and it identifies. Now, let me also say, what it seems to me is a problem, and I don't know if it changes in the new system or not. But if the licensee had to go get their employer to sign this, and if the licensee had to go get their supervisor to sign this and upload and submit it, right? Or submit it, then they would know it had been done. But what happens is the licensee, it's sent to the employer, it's sent to the supervisor, and they're interpreting that as completion. And so I'm just saying that if there may be other ways that people.
We're not
can-
doing that no more, because that's been removed.
What
So
you mean, by
that's-
hand?
Yeah, so CERTIMI used to do all that, sending it, and we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, it's not?
That component is removed, correct? We don't,
So what she's saying is correct. They're not sending it electronically.
Right, we're
they're
not sending it
on
electron-
paper. Is that
Right.
what she's
Is
saying?
that what's gonna happen?
that's what's happening now.
Well, that's good. That's to
Well,
me,
let me ask the question, are
that's
the,
good. I mean, because that way because it seemed to me on CERTIMI, they would see that this was sent to the employer, and then when it went to the employer, they were kind of like, okay, that's done.
Mhm.
But, and if they have to get the employer to sign it, then that's a little different, because it's not done because you don't have the physical signature.
so the employer sends it directly to the board, they return it to the licensee to turn it?
They return it to the backs.
They return it to the
backs
backs.
upload
Yeah,
it.
that's
banks
upload.
uploads
That's what
it.
we have now.
So how does the licensee know that happened? They can see it?
They won't have an approved contract if it wasn't uploaded.
Put the safeguards in place.
So-
Safeguard, you can't go past go. Like,
So they can't do a record of supervision?
Nope, you have to complete
Okay.
it. We put
Okay.
safeguards in. You can't go to step 3 and 4 and 5 if you haven't done 1 and 2 and there's a safeguard in place
Okay,
now,
good.
right?
Okay.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, that's what we put in place.
That's a
So,
great,
right, so we won't have, you know.
that should be up there under, elevation. We
that-
still on
That's
elevation.
other, yeah, we got there, but that's our enhancement, y'all, like, that's
Yeah.
what we've been able to
No.
accomplish. That's what I'm saying, what we doing, y'all, and you all saying this stuff, and we doing it, you know,
But I do
okay.
think the training, if we can't make it a requirement, I would like for them to check a box. I would like for it to say, did you complete the training? And you check
Yeah.
yes or no. And so when they come back later and they say, this ain't right, and nobody told me nothing, we gonna look at their little supervision contract and say, well, you knew it was a training because
So-
you had to check a box.
You
So
could go
let me
even
say that.
further.
So
let's
You
meet
could
each other
go even
halfway.
further.
Can we
Let's
place
meet
this
each
on the
other.
application?
Let's meet this halfway, okay, because I like all of this idea.
Mhm.
Let's have I'm gonna have a conversation with our consultant and administrator about doing a video. I'm gonna see now, this ain't, y'all don't be putting me on Facebook, though. Let's see if we can put a training out there on the website, right? And encourage people to, strongly encourage folks to watch it. I need to have a conversation with our consultant, supervision consultant, to see if we can, you know, if we can do that. And the training to be tailored to what you're saying about telling what the LMSW, you know, and to do. At least that's an attempt, that is an attempt
But how
to
do
get
we,
information out there.
so, but where are they going to acknowledge that we can reference
So
that they chose not to watch it or they?
when you start doing that, then that leans more into requirement and leads
Well,
more
no,
into
not
making a
required.
rule.
They check
You
the
can
box.
write a statement to say, a video, there's a video, whatever is available. It is highly recommended that you watch the video to ensure that you've met all stage, and just have some click that they read that. Cause if they click that they read that, at least they know that it's there. But if they choose not to go to that next step, that's on them.
So
And
where are we
what's the difference
clicking,
between-
where are we putting it at? Where's this click going?
It's on
the
the
application.
application, like on a supervision contract. But someplace where, whether it is an attestation that they know
We
it's
need to look at the
available.
new system and then
Yeah.
look at it, because it's different, and then you're gonna be creating change orders.
Is that money?
That's more money.
Is that money?
You think it's money to add a,
Yes,
send a check box?
it is. It costs
Can I say
money.
something? Can I just say
Yeah, it
something?
does, Jamie.
Is it specific to what we talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
It's-
Y'all didn't think it was, but let me just say something.
Mhm.
Dr. Borney, Madam Chair, y'all doing too much. Let me tell you why. You don't need any of that. The only thing, I need more water, but hold on for a second. The only thing you need is to place that video online. Make a statement, as Melissa stated, that it is available. Have some type of disclaimer stating that it, like I said, it's available. If you choose to watch it, as I stated, it's available, it's at your discretion. What we have our esteemed attorney, general counsel,
Mhm.
that can provide that statement. And at that point, if they come before us at any time, we can reference that statement.
What's the
And
difference
that-
between what you're talking about and what we did with Certainly? We had a video available online. We had all these
Jamie, I'ma
hearings.
tell you, I hear
Don't
your
interrupt me,
passion.
please.
I hear
But we
your
had a
passion.
video available on Certainly. We have all these hearings and ask people, they say, I was so confused. And we say, did you look at the video? No, what video? I don't think, that was too long ago. So I hear you and I think it's a good idea and that's why we did it and it didn't work. So I just want an acknowledgement. I want some sort of indication. If we can't have them do it, because that would solve a lot of this problem. But if we can't make them do it without a rule, I think that's excessive, then let them acknowledge that they did or didn't. But if we're not gonna do it, it's fine, but this is where it's coming from. It'll
I'm gonna
actually
share with
help.
you, there's a couple of reasons why we can't do the acknowledgement. You and I, we can talk a little bit more offline. We can't do that. There's some costs associated with an acknowledgement checkbox. That's a change order. That's more money, to change to that. And then also it leans into this requirement placed about the rule. But I do think that we can meet each other in the middle. This is what I'm asking, for us to have a conversation with our consultant about placing a video. We're meeting in the middle. We can place a video on that website to show LMSWs maybe like a supervisee's rights, okay? I really want us to meet in the middle on this, and then we can circle back, right? We could circle back, maybe when we, have more, see if that works or not, and we can circle back and put those other ideas in, okay? I just want us to meet in the middle on this and start with the video if y'all are okay with that, all right?
That sounds great. Let me ask you about data. Do we collect the data of those who, do we know the people who go through the licensure supervision system without any, hearings and challenges? Cause see, it seems like a lot, because we may have 10, 15, but if we have 100 who are doing it, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm not sure. It seems like a lot because we see so many of them, but I'm not sure if is percentage wise what that is in the
Mhm.
overall.
And if we look at our data, y'all, that in our newsletter, that's a great point. You can look at how many, disciplines, how many, what we got
Laws
for,
approved.
yeah, how many been approved and,
But we don't, do we ever aggregate that like annually?
well, we do it by fiscal, well, the one that we just had in July was up until, it captured by the end of FY 25. Yes, there was some more work we need to do in terms of data collection. We have a small office, it's 4 people. So great conversation, great ideas, part of the vision, And yes, data collection is something that we continue to work on. And so that's something that we need to add to the list of, how we aggregating certain data points. But you can see how many we do have how many was approved, how many was denied. We have if we took a designee from a banks, if there was a complaint, we have that data. Melissa, we started another little spreadsheet of how many requests for certain topics and stuff. We started doing that as well.
And to your point, there's a lot of data points. Is a difference between how many people are eligible to take the test, people who pass the test, how many people who.
Early test takers.
Early testing,
Mhm.
how many people who, but like I say, it seems like there are a lot of people who have a problem going through that, but there also may be.
More
a
people that's
significant amount
not,
of people who
that's
don't
doing
have a
good,
problem.
right?
You
who's
know what I'm
doing
saying?
well, right? It just
Yeah.
seems like
It
it.
just seems like.
And I would like to add to that though,
Mhm.
how many persons are losing hours when they work with our analysts, but don't appeal to the board to get those hours covered. Cause it may be better, but it also may be, we wouldn't be capturing those persons who just take it to the chin and get more hours or just stop.
Okay.
Like, does Sarah track that, like people, like hours lost? I think.
Well, some people know that they did it wrong, they
Right,
didn't
right,
do it right, so they just go back and redo it, but they might not have. It seemed like a lot of people that we're dealing with are people who were not aware
Right.
that they didn't have what they needed until it was time for them to
I can't
terminate.
imagine anyone doing that and thinking they had it wrong, but I know everybody isn't gonna petition.
No.
You know what I mean? Some people are just gonna be like, well, I
Start
gotta do
all
more
over.
hours, right? So
Figure it out.
that, though, they are impacted, that's impacting the profession as well.
Had a pen, I don't know. Yes.
By your,
You see it?
by your drink, in between your drinks.
That's a spoon.
Is it underneath your
I
paper?
don't know where my pen went. I just had it. But anyway, I don't know. I gotta get another pen. With that, with that being said, that leads right into, the SWOT analysis. 'Cause it sounds like y'all are bringing up some stuff already. And so let's just quickly get through that. I want to share that was a really good pen. You know how social talk about pens? Oh, here it is. Woo! You're like, we can't move unless we have the right pen. Okay, so that moves right into that SWOT analysis. So thank y'all again for that thought partnership. Y'all listen, this is great stuff. I mean, yeah, it's taken us a little while, but this is bringing up some good points. And I know Emily's over there trying to write them down. And so again, thanks. Okay, let's lead right into the SWOT analysis. And I want to tell you, I don't have to get up there. I was gonna do all the writing on the board and stuff, but
No, you can't do it.
but I want to say, Jamie, pull out that whiteboard out. Have y'all seen Jamie? She'll pull out the whiteboard.
Believe in a drive.
So what we want to do is, please, Vice Chair, if you want to, yeah, that'd be great. Because I have some stuff in front of y'all, in front of me right now, and I want to say that before, let me see. Oh, he's okay? Oh, okay. I want to say to y'all that, yesterday, I gave y'all some information about the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I'm excited to share with y'all that I got an opportunity to ask our staff some of these questions too as well. And I met with them to get some perspectives on it. So I want to just kind of lead with some of the perspectives from the staff. And then, if you all want to weigh in on what some of your thoughts of the strengths and weaknesses are. So
Okay,
I have Vice Chair up there.
I'm sorry, real
And
quick
so-
question before we get started. Is it going to require a sheet for each one? Like, do I need to just put them out, or is it
I think you
a
might.
box? Okay. That was-
It's gonna probably require for each one.
Okay.
Oh, we did this last year.
Yeah, you wanna do, and they got a new one that I was gonna try to do this year, but I'm like, I ain't gonna do it, it's gonna be overwhelming, but they got another one that's out, but I can learn. So I can start with the strengths if y'all
Yeah, go
want.
ahead, I'm ready.
No, take your time, like this, load up.
I can multitask.
Okay,
There's
so I'm gonna throw out some strengths, y'all ready? Okay. LABSW has a board comprised of members who offer their time and support without complaint, and dedication is unmatched. So this is from the staff, they say we are dedicated, we volunteer our time, we are very supportive.
That is not what that lady said. She said dedicated board members.
She did, but all she doing is bulletin, she's saying, no, dedicated board members.
Oh, okay.
Dedicated staff, I could put
No.
just put dedicated staff / board member.
No, but that's not what this is from the staff. So dedicated board, that's from the staff. It's okay, dedicated board, it's okay, you good.
It seemed like you trying to get terminated. That's what it seemed like. I'm trying to save your job.
So the staff, this came from the staff. The staff is saying that dedicated board,
Okay.
without complaint, dedications unmatched, okay? Members, okay. Strengths from staff. Rules are promulgated to address
I hate that word.
the matters of the licensees and applicants. I'm trying to read people's handwriting, okay?
Spell promulgate
I was just about to
correctly.
say, boy, okay, watch.
Rules are being promulgated to address the issues,
I can't say it.
matters of licensees and applicants, okay? We have a new platform. New, new licensing platform as of June 1st.
One time I would have thought that was shoes.
And to your point, Vice Chair, staff is dedicated and all.
There we go.
That's the fourth one.
You gotta be in order.
Oh, no thanks.
Alright, okay. I got some more strengths, all right? We have a great platform. You already got that. Stellar security and backup in the platform. They like the platform. The platform's got stellar security and backup measures. Our physical location is good. In terms of routine visits, adequate parking, the landlord is decent, takes care of the physical location, all of that. All right. Staff said that they have tools. They have the Word, Excel, the Outlook, the Covalent. They have tools available. Being accurate, needed virtual. Okay, that's not a strength. That should have been on the other thread. Okay, there's no slackers, no staff slackers. Everybody is committed and dedicated to work about their, no slackers. Everybody. No, they said no slackers, that all the staff is, yeah.
The same as this?
Same thing, yeah, okay, let me get you some more strengths, hold on. Again, knowledgeable board members, you put that on there, knowledgeable board members from various social work specialties, right, specializations. I see better database, same thing as platform. And then dedicated administrator. Okay. And knowledgeable staff. All right, board, y'all have any strengths y'all want to add to this list?
I put leadership, but I think that's covered.
I was gonna ask you, do they mind reading?
What different
So
colors?
you said leadership, what about leadership?
It's good, it's
Okay.
straight, it's strong.
Strong leadership, okay. Board members, anything you wanna add to strength?
I think, there's how do you say it? It's not a go along to get along type thing, like
Diverse perspective.
like we push each other to get to the best outcome. I don't.
I
don't know if
think
that's
diverse
capturing-
perspectives, I
Diverse
mean, that,
perspectives.
we definitely have that, yeah.
We do have diverse perspectives, and I'm so glad we cohesively saying it. We may not always agree, but for me, I'm jumping in. I think people deserve a voice to be heard.
And not only are the perspectives diverse, it's not afraid to implement change. You know,
Right.
it's like
So that's a change, change ready or change.
Transformative change, huh?
Transformative, yeah.
Transformative change, you know, and I think that, yeah, that might be a weakness though, because sometimes, you know, I'm told like, you let your board be running down the street high, you need to rein them in, you know, I get that all the time, pull your board in, they run it down. But I still think there's a sense of, there's a space to allow people to be heard. I really think that it's important for people to be able to voice, so.
Selfless service.
Say it again, selfless service.
Selfless
Okay,
service.
there we go. Selfless service
I think so.
for the board, for the board.
As a
Selfless.
board, we're very selfless.
Selfless services.
So
And
selfless
modest,
service.
modest board.
You wouldn't say we're
I'm
selfless.
joking, he not.
no, I don't. I mean, I think to an extent, but
Maybe servant leadership,
yeah.
maybe
Is
that better? Is that- selfless.
It's definitely on my resume.
Okay, well, you can say
It looks
servant
nice
leadership.
there.
You can say servant leadership then.
Okay.
I'm not trying to, nobody's trying to take advantage. Is that what you're saying?
Right,
Oh,
I-
we just saying that maybe we're volunteering, we giving this.
Yeah.
That's what we mean.
Okay.
We're trying to.
It's a military acronym.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with
I get what
selfless
you're saying, I
service.
get what you're saying.
Yes.
I'm agreeing
I
with
just
that.
don't wanna pretend that there's zero benefit to being on it, because there is. Yeah, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Weakness.
All right, so now let's go on to, that was all the strengths. Anybody, Emily, you have any strengths you want to add? Legal counsel, you have any strengths you want to add? She's like, no, I'm just observing y'all, making sure y'all doing the right thing.
How
Okay.
we compare to the
Weakness.
other boards, what we do better?
Oh, she's not gonna say that out
How's that for
loud.
homo?
Certainly better
She's
looking.
not gonna say that.
The best looking board she's ever had.
Right. I mean, all the boards are different, but they all are coming from different professions and organizations, but y'all analyze things a whole lot more than anybody else.
You sure do, I get that a lot.
So we're thoughtful.
Yes, yes.
No, we have depth.
Thoughtful, have depth. Okay, guys. All right, I'm gonna go to
Go yourself.
weaknesses whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
Okay.
Look, I was about to say that all of us in here are all working on a doctoral degree or has a doctoral degree.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I've noticed that.
I don't know, that will remove your selfless thing, though. I don't want to put that.
Oh, never mind. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
That will
Servant
remove your selfless.
leadership. Servant
So leave
leadership.
leave it alone. All right, let's go
Yeah,
to the
don't say
weakness.
anything, Dr.
Let's
Moore.
go to the weakness. All right, y'all, here comes the weakness. Okay. Ooh, too many manual labor tasks.
That's the truth.
So this is
The weakness from,
what is
Manual labor, what they chop
Manual
down,
labor.
what they doing?
It's the paper and the,
Paper.
and the, uploading of documents, the,
like a book, what you mean?
all of the emails and,
Yeah.
and let's see, documents, account staff must. Okay, so the emailing to each licensee upon approval.
Labor intensive, she
Labor-
was
yeah,
saying, that
labor
makes sense,
intensive.
that makes more sense, yeah, labor.
Yeah, intensive.
So apparently when approvals happen, and Emily, you could probably help me with this, not that Emily wrote this. When approvals happen, our staff have to email the licensee that the approval happened? Okay, so that can be approval of the application, correct? Yes. So,
Like an application for supervision? Or application for the license?
The application for the license, but I actually thought an email automatically went out.
it doesn't, apparently it doesn't, but that's okay, we'll talk more about it, but just to talk about, let's talk about it, just manual labor task, leave it at, all right. Okay, another weakness, all right, I'm coming. Okay, information on our website.
The weakness? That's.
Yeah, needing that we need to try to answer as many questions as possible to reduce call volume. But I'm gonna tell you, we just talked about those numbers. You got 9,700 licensees to 4 staff. That phone gonna keep ringing. I don't know how to,
2001.
that's a lot, that ratio.
Can I-
That website is got information. Go ahead.
Can I say something? When I have researched and continuing education committee, when we have researched other social work board websites and those websites of other boards who are not affiliated with social work, we have so much information that is useful that I don't understand.
Now you cheating now, you
How am
can't,
I cheating?
you can't challenge on the SWOT
Right,
analysis
this is a
what
wet-
people
it's a
put.
weakness, right.
This is what people put.
Right, so
I mean,
keep
whether, you
going.
don't have to
I'ma keep
agree
going.
with it.
We'll go back.
It's their perception, you don't have to
We'll go
agree
back.
with it.
I'll go back, we'll circle back.
It's like a brainstorm almost.
Just keep, okay, all right, and then let's see.
Social workers and
Talking about
the staff is not.
Okay, multiple email addresses,
On
multiple
our
e,
website,
They have multiple email addresses?
yeah, there's a, that's, that's a,
That one? Is that what you're saying?
yes, there's a complex problem, we have multiple email addresses. Which makes sense, we've talked about having a lot of email addresses and trying to single that out, because, you know, people, so what happens is, they'll email one person, and then they'll get a response, they'll email the 3 other people.
I know I
And
was
it's the
misunderstanding what
same.
you were saying.
I was trying to
thought you were
read it
saying,
and
like
think-
Emily got 2 email addresses, like,
It's
why?
like
is that?
multiple,
Okay.
instead of,
Like people go to different emails.
they don't get their answer, they
No,
want
it
the
needs to be
email.
assigned to one,
So
the
that's what we're
regular
saying.
social worker,
Alright.
LABSWE.org.
So the
and
next
that's
one
it.
is, okay, still getting inquiries about how to use Certime. Okay, bless they heart.
What was the last thing you said?
Okay, people still getting inquiries about Certime, okay. We have a small number of staff, y'all. We only have 4 staff. This was wordy and I'm not trying. So the other issue is because we only have 4 members, 4 people, if somebody's out,
Mhm.
then the other people gotta cover all of that.
Mm.
So we have a very small but mighty staff, but
They
that's,
sound like
There's
social
nothing
workers.
we can do about
They
that.
sound like social workers.
that's hard. So
That's
if
what social
somebody's
workers
out,
do.
somebody's out, then,
That's my.
so that's a weakness. That's a weakness. Okay. All
But at
right.
least our people respond. Some states don't respond. They don't answer their phone.
Right. Okay, I got another one.
We are discussing our weaknesses.
I know, but I'm refraining.
But that's not what that's not what you're doing, the SWOT analysis when you talk about
Okay.
weaknesses. Okay, well.
I'm thinking positively.
That's something that, okay. All right, let me get another one. I did that one, okay. Okay, we have almost 9,000 licensees for 4 employees, same thing. All right, that's weaknesses. Any weaknesses, board you wanna add?
Fees. Fees and costs, because you're not gonna be able to change the ratio unless you have more revenue. So
Agreed.
fees and limited revenue sources.
I agree.
Yes.
And I do want to add institutional knowledge to strengths. Cause that's what I really should have included with leadership. I was really talking about Emily's length of stay here, and she has institutional
Yes,
knowledge.
she does. Over 20 years. I shouldn't say that out loud.
Gina and I have both been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Regina been here.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, well,
What's
welcome.
Regina's title?
Administrative assistant.
Administrator, okay, thank
She should, y'all have assistant director position. Yeah, I have something like that.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to work with civil service on, reorganization of the agency.
Yeah, but that's gonna be
That's
an
an
opportunity.
opportunity.
That's what, that, and you, that's, we gonna do that. We,
Oh, we got another, we got
we gonna
another.
do- don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
you. Okay.
Don't do it yet. We still on weaknesses. Any other weakness, don't do it yet. I'm gonna get to it. Any other weaknesses?
I would say, I would have to say, I'm trying not to make it, specific, but I will say, repetitive errors,
Define that.
just like there have been some, I don't know what you call them, like frequently asked questions, but frequently done errors, you know, that
The
we.
part of the licensee.
Yes, from the licensee, it's repetitive errors that, you know, and that need some level of intervention. And I think that goes back to the staff ratio, because, you know, because they have errors or challenges.
From licensees, C,
Yeah.
NCES,
SE.
yeah. Wait,
Mm-mm.
LICENS.
SEES, yeah, SEES. Well, that's a license, put an E in the middle.
Oh,
of that.
licensee.
Yes,
Well,
that
license
require
taking a bit of
intervention, that require intervention.
CNS.
Yeah,
That's gonna make it sound better, that require intervention.
C's
time.
require
Yeah.
intervention.
it's simple.
Thanks, Doctor.
Licensee's not moving direct.
John Bullet.
Yeah.
Any other weaknesses that we have?
I'm gonna have to input, but no, I'm not gonna say.
All right, well, if
Why
not,
you
we
won't
think
do it?
about it. You want opportunity?
Yeah, I can come up with an opportunity.
Okay, we're gonna move on to opportunity if nobody has any weaknesses.
Our book, our manual for trainees, new licensees that come on the board. I mean, not licensees, our manual for new board members, yes, that we're working on.
Okay, is that an opportunity?
So an
What do you
opportunity
think,
for
what
them to
category you
learn.
want that to go under?
Well, it's not a strength yet because we don't have it, and it's not a weakness. I don't want to place that under weakness. It's an opportunity.
Okay, so for a manual of standard procedure, like
Yeah, it's not, that's
Okay.
an opportunity for them to grow. I don't want to list that as a
a
weakness.
manual of standard procedure,
Yeah, that's gonna be an opportunity for us so that they can grow within their first month. It's gonna be, we're gonna make a manual for new board members.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be an opportunity
Okay.
for us.
A standard what, I'm sorry?
procedure,
Okay.
Yes,
manual of standard procedure.
for operations and procedures, like. yeah.
Okay, some opportunities.
The opportunity is
To make a manual. of
like
standard
a,
Yeah, it's gonna be like a guide.
Orientation.
Yeah,
Like an
exactly.
orientation.
Yes,
Right, but
Yeah.
actually have, I think he's asking for actual manual.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
they can know how.
just want to keep communication. We have regular grades. We have,
Wait, hold on,
Same thing.
They came from the staff?
no, that just came from Trinity
Okay.
Manual Standard Procedure.
Okay.
Okay, to continue to have to continue to maintain relationships with associations. So that the board is viewed as. It says, so the board is not seen as an adversary, but as an ally, which. I'm gonna pull exactly what she said. I'm gonna talk about why we gotta be mindful of that, but that's what she's saying. But I do understand the importance of having continuing relationships with associations. And then also. Yeah. All right, got more opportunities. To be more cohesive by adding relevant information for link for paragraph to areas of application of. I understand, instead of transcript info and background. Yeah, I'm coming, y'all, trying to get an application. Okay, this sounds like some opportunities to change some of the platform challenges in covalent. Okay, so just gotta summarize that, because this is a little too wordy.
Sound like a fee. What is it? Platform?
Platform changes within our new system.
In our new-
More his opportunity to gain ample license for overseas in other cases and. Okay. To gain more revenue. And that speak to kind of like what Melissa was saying, not having enough money. What Melissa said about revenue.
Did they give
They didn't give an amount, they just said,
or a suggestion on how?
Yeah,
they said opportunity to gain more revenue.
Okay.
Specifically as it relates to late applications, you know, people turn the
Oh.
application late.
Uh-huh.
What's the late application fee?
I think it's like $50. Is it $50?
What's the late application fee? $50? What's, yeah, for renewal.
It's whatever the renewal fee is, double, so.
Double, yeah. So this staff is kind of saying increase that. But I mean, that's what it is. That's what I'm just saying, okay? Okay, last opportunity. Social media can be a way of getting information out. So just having social media and different streams of social media to get information out. But they say that's also gonna be a threat if you don't use it. So that's. All right, we're almost done. We got threats. We doing good, y'all. I'm telling you.
You're supposed to add some opportunities, right?
Use what?
Okay, add something. Anybody has any opportunities they want to add?
Reorganization, that's what, staff reorganization.
Yup, staff reorganization. This is what Emily's gonna lead into what Emily is talking about when we start talking about vision. She and I had some dialogue about a deputy director someday, you know, having somebody that can focus on the human resources side of things, you know, the operational side of things, you know, dividing up some of the responsibilities that she take on and putting that into a different role. And that aligns with staff reorganization or adding a position, you know, opportunity. And so Emily could weigh in a little bit more about what she was, well, we've been vision talking, but she can, if she feels comfortable, you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about that?
I don't know that I have much more to add, but you know, we come up with all these great ideas and things that would be great and wonderful. But when you only have so much time to dedicate to it, you never reach the projects that you want to do. And that's what I struggle with. I struggle with the the day-to-day operations of the board is more than a 40-hour-a-week job. And then you want to add projects on top of that. And, you know, when you're already at capacity, you never reach those goals. And so some reorganization of having like an executive director and a deputy director would be ideal for this agency. We need to find the money somewheres to do this.
Well, not necessarily replacing, but growth. Like you would have a deputy director and you would have the current staffing pattern.
Correct.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
ain't
great.
no replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, growth. And then as we do that too, Vice Chair, you might want to add an additional position, another licensing analyst, because 9,700 licenses, just single state, home state, multi-state operation gonna require another body. So we talking about deputy director and a licensing analyst.
Well, I also think it's an opportunity to look at fundraising.
I was just about to say that. Why you had to take that out of my brain?
Fundraising is an opportunity to look at that. There are a lot of people who benefit from social workers' work and would like to be able to contribute to the growth and development of opportunities and technology and things like that. So I would say fundraising was
Well,
one.
that's the part I needed to talk to our council about in terms of, are we even allowed to take outside money? I'm not sure if we're able to do that, so we have to look into that. Because I brought that up, are we able to accept,
We're not able
Funding,
to
other funding.
solicit, but I believe we can
well,
fundraise.
we
They
gonna let
are,
her look, we gonna let her look into that, cause that's another thing. Okay, that's it, what you about?
yeah, because Melissa, it's like you're in my
All
brain.
right, threats.
Hold on.
You can write it about. If you want, oh, you doing a whole nother sheet?
I said,
Some of the opportunity also is enhanced data collection.
this is inlet.
Can everybody see this?
Yes,
Yeah, we good.
Y'all can see, I gotta put it over here.
fundraising.
All right, and the last thing is the threat.
Enhanced data collection.
Yes,
Okay, which one was that? Opportunity.
and intern.
Yeah, we had that last year. I told you I'm gonna talk to you about that.
Trying
Cause you
to-
have to have, if it's a social work intern, you have to have a supervisor that's willing to supervise a student.
That's a good thing. The chair could do that. The chair,
Wow.
the chair
Well, not
to
this
be a
chair.
supervisor.
Not this
That's the least we could do for another body, huh? The chair could supervise.
What about,
Not the, I think that's a good idea. Not necessarily the board chair could do it, but maybe the rules committee chair for the interstate compact.
You're trying to be too much. Listening to you.
I had to go look and get it right. Like,
All right, threats, y'all. We at the end. Come on, we cooking gas.
or maybe a business? All right,
All right, threats. We're gonna be quick. I'm trying to read people's handwriting. If you can see what I'm trying to type. All right, threats. All right, financial. I mean, that's a threat, making sure that we, okay. Oh,
financial.
again, staff, overwhelming staff with a lot of tasks because
Threats is
we're just
technology.
small, we're just
Oh,
small.
they supposed to be telling us what they.
Okay.
Okay, so threats was financial,
An
Financial
overwhelming staff.
and small staff,
okay, that's all they said so far.
that's it. Okay, I'm jumping, okay, react and respond. Okay.
Technology, Melissa?
Process of work with be dressed
Yeah, I-
with the stroke.
Melissa,
She still got them. She still.
All right, y'all, okay, this is authenticity. Y'all ready? All right. React and respond to new legislation. Our processes or workflows are drastically altered with the stroke of a politician's pen. So really, it requires time for us to respond to a law change and could end up costing a lot of money for reprogramming the platform. So that's a great threat. So, extending and hopefully having more dialogue with our lawmakers, call the board and say, hey, this is something we might be considering. How could this impact the public? How could this impact your licensees? Really, it's the public, but it's also good to get some information from us on how it impacts our licensees too, because if you write something real quick and it happens, we don't have enough time to get it, through, right? And getting input on our board. And so this is our staff, pointing that out, and that happens, that happens.
So the opportunity is to engage lawmakers,
But
is that what
But
they're
we
saying?
can't lobby, so,
Oh, I'm just,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
no, it's a threat, it's not an opportunity at all. She
I
just
know,
said-
but she said,
Engage, legislators, but you cannot lobby. But you're,
Informed.
yes, you want to use the word inform, but your professors, the students, the licensees can, but board members cannot engage.
So her point, let's go back to what her threat exactly was. Her threat was, or his threat was, or her threat, or they threat, I don't want to say that because I don't want nobody to think it's who it is.
It was blatant.
Right? Yeah, but the issue is that we need time to be able to, the threat is not having enough time to be able to react and respond to new legislation that alters the processes and workflow.
right,
So, yeah,
and then you went on to say, like having the lawmakers, when they're proposing a law, to like have some sort of dialogue.
yeah.
So
to encourage-
that part of it is the opportunity. That's why I went to add that part here.
Right.
But about, if you want me to write it like
But
that.
I don't know if that is an opportunity.
It is.
It is.
Mhm.
But it's not the responsibility of the board to reach out to the lawmaker, so I don't want it to look like that, but it is an opportunity to engage.
So you want me to just take this off?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Even if
Cause we
it's,
already informed, like we, you know.
but Doc, but guess what? It may,
It's not. No, that's it, Jane, that's it, Trinity, I'm gonna stop, okay. All right, storage, we gonna come back. Storage is finite and scarce, so we talked about that, right? The storage records is 2, we talked about that. The space is small. And we live in a storm-prone area, so when the weather is bad, the meeting has to be canceled or altered.
What's that saying? What was that one
We have
saying?
a storm-prone, we live in a storm-prone area.
From street, city,
Yeah.
state.
We need to be prepared for that type of disruption.
It's also an opportunity for online meetings. I know that's coming, but we ain't there.
And then another threat is, of course, social media. Social media, misinformation, disinformation, is seen as a threat. Misinformation, disinformation, is seen as a threat.
finite and, you said finite and scared?
What's that saying? Is it about the lie go around the world?
A lie goes around the world.
It goes around the world twice before the truth wake
Somebody-
up. I
somebody-
don't know, I forget.
My grandmama made that up. I was serving.
All right, folks, so
I know what you're talking about.
What?
what is,
Storm prone?
I
We
think
need
this
threats
is
for the
good.
board.
Oh, threats for the board.
You
Any
say storm
threats?
prone
Any threats for the
street,
board?
city, state?
Board has
Yes.
any threats? Any threats?
Like
for
it
the
floods
board?
on the street, or, you know, like whatever.
Yeah,
but
remember that
there's
time it
issues.
rained real bad and the Zoom went out and we were like, oh my goodness, the Zoom is out.
I do think a threat is, what is it? The, availability of all level of licensures. All level of licensures,
Availability of all levels.
all level of licensures. Concerned about shortages in certain areas of social work,
Of social work, okay.
social work.
Of the profession as a whole,
A
you mean?
profession as a whole,
Shortages,
yes. Mhm.
so licensing shortages.
Yeah, and also a threat is that we are paying rates in the state and in the community. You know, social workers have low pay and our state gets low rates for the services that we do. That's a threat. People are leaving the social work field every day.
Mhm. I think, the ongoing issues with the test are also a threat.
That's what I think too.
With disparities in pass rate.
I feel the same way. I think multi-state licensure is an opportunity and a threat. I think it's both. I think it's in both areas. I think it can be a great opportunity, but I think if we don't get our wages and stuff together, then it could be a threat. But I think in both areas, it has that opportunity.
And then y'all saying threat as professional, threat as the board.
I'm just talking about a threat, both. I think,
Cause I want us to,
I think
your
both.
point about the,
Oh, we're talking about to the board.
yeah. This
Okay,
is-
I
this
went
is-
more
this-
general.
Right, this
Yeah.
is where we're not, I want this board, but your point about shortages of licensure levels, I could see that being tied a little bit.
I do think multi-state licensure is
And
a
not
threat
rate
to
of-
the
And
public.
not the rate of pay either, I don't know if that's tied to us
Yeah,
either.
well, I guess I'm just looking at the social work field, but I do think multi-state licensure, because I think you pointed that out, because we gotta figure out how we gonna manage it, how much it's gonna cost. So I think it's an opportunity, but I also
So
think.
rate of pay for social workers reimbursement rate, that's not the board.
No,
What? What?
I wish we could advocate, but we can't.
Affects how many
Can we
people.
advocate?
No, we can provide information,
I
Melissa.
mean, we can't advocate with the state legislature, but can we?
Melissa, we have to go to our associations and they
This is
have to
what
put out
Abby
a
just
call
put.
to action. They put out the call to actions, they put that out there, we regulate, okay. I'll say threat. Why you said it was a threat though? Who has a multi-state license ready?
Same thing, all the things that you pointed out to me in terms of how we gonna manage it, how is it
Oh,
gonna be managed?
we gonna, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't, okay, I'm not
Because of
disagreeing.
course, that's
Joe.
gonna happen, that's one thing.
I
Well,
think
threats
that
are more so like, well, not more so, but threats include those external factors that could impact the board, right?
right.
And so we've addressed finances, staffing, legislation, I thought that was.
That's operations.
Mhm. And weather.
You put legislation up there? I don't see
Right
it.
here.
Oh, there you go.
And, weather.
Yeah, well, that was, who I remember that, I was so concerned. Because we all that came up here and it just went out.
And I think someone, was it, where did it say? Oh, I think someone pointed it out as an opportunity about like making sure we have allyships. So are like
Yeah, did you put it
external
up there?
associations or organizations, do we have any that we feel?
It says it says an opportunity with organizations, I mean, with associations here. The thing I would add is institutions, because we have a lot of, I mean, whether they have social work programs or
What
not,
institutions do you mean with this? I'm trying to.
universities.
Yeah, but that sounds like association kind of stuff.
It says maintain relationships with associations. Why wouldn't we want to do the same thing with institutions?
Because, like, you mean colleges and universities?
Because
It's
Like how
more
we go with speak
perspective.
to the.
We do that.
But it says
It's still an
maintain.
opportunity.
Oh, maintain. Okay, it says maintain. Go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead. You're right. I got you. Yeah, I got you. And I'm right. Cause she clarified when she said maintain, cause I'm like, we do that. We doing it.
But you know what, in terms of, I think to your point, you also said something about what universities are doing, that may lead or are doing or not doing to lead to the clinical outcomes, the clinical testing outcomes. You said that it's not an individual problem. And there may be some discussion because I'm assuming universities know, but I'm not sure if it's an individual problem, but you would think that every BSW would know when they graduate, you need to register with the board.
Right,
You would think that.
right.
But that is obviously not the case. I mean, we just had an incident where somebody, when they have a BSW, it happens quite often where people, when they have a BSW and then they go right to get their MSW, then they don't think that they need to get their license because they're going to get their MSW. And they are working in social work, if only in their field placements or in their job. So there is a disconnect. And I don't know if the universities are aware that their licensees are having that.
And to your point, and that's not the only disconnect.
Oh, no.
Like,
That was just
and I think at the
yeah.
end of the day, it's a lot of disconnections on the education side of things. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a lot of disconnect. So, but to your point, when you said maintain, you clarified that for me.
And not only that, but kind of to the point, we cannot lobby and we can't propose legislation. But we would like people to come to us for information before they submit drafts. So if we maintain
Yes.
these relationships with those who do, then that would assist in being able to provide information so that they don't do anything that could create problems after the legislation is passed.
So that speaks volumes to what the staff also experienced.
Right.
So that round that out. Okay, folks, that sounds like we rocked and rolled. And let me tell you, we've done good. I think that we have covered everything on here with the exception of the status of rules promulgation. And so any rules that we receive approval from OLRP will be included in the October 2025 publication.
And the rules, so we're still waiting, where are we?
So we are getting rules from the OLRP, and we will be able to publish them in the October 2025 register.
What does that mean, we're getting rules?
That means when you get them, you have to publish them. So you have to publish them by a certain
We had
For
to
comments.
submit them to the OLRP and we had to do a separate submission for each chapter. So they're now sending them over.
And then we will be prepared for the
So we submitted
October.
all of them?
Yeah, we
Submitted
been
all of them,
submitted
but-
all of them.
Wait, did you submit all of them?
I know it's
Okay,
been going
so-
on.
All of them, but they didn't allow us to submit them as one submission.
So-
So we have a submission, they did allow us to submit them per chapter, so that's
Okay.
what we did.
So they're sending back all the chapters?
No,
There's-
Okay, I'm trying to, okay, so,
As they send them,
as
we'll
they
publish
send them,
them.
we'll publish
and
them.
when they publish, then what happened?
And they
It's
come in the
effective.
packet.
Then they done, okay, thank you, that's all I was like.
That's what we're saying, so
Okay.
October, so that's good news, okay?
Yeah.
So, October 2025, all right, so that covers that, all right.
I
Now,
got a question. Do we know which rules we getting?
no,
Okay,
we
that's
gonna
fine.
publish what we get in October registry, okay?
Whatever we have by the deadline.
By that deadline, okay? All right, when is October board meeting? Do we know, October 13, 14, anybody have that date in front of them real quick?
I can go look on the board.
It's like the 17th.
All right.
Yeah, it's the 17th.
All right. All right, y'all. So, can we take a breath and go into executive session now? I think I've covered everything on this agenda with the vision. Click the next slide, Emily. I think that's it. We did SWAT. Y'all go next. I think we done. See, where do we go from here? We talked about what we're going to. We're gonna draft. It always seems impossible until it's done, y'all. Nelson Mandela said that, so we're gonna keep getting it. We're gonna keep getting it and getting it done. All right, we will type up the stuff from the SWOT analysis and share it with everyone. And, keep this in mind, as we move forward. Thank y'all for participating in that. Next one is executive session. We are going to have to call for a motion to go in executive session unless there's something that I'm missing that we did not cover, but I think we covered everything.
So
I want to make a quick announcement.
Yes.
I want you guys to know that, our fearless leader is an honoree by the New Orleans City Business as a Woman of the Year for 2025. So we'll be able to see the publication in November.
Awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. Where is the ceremony?
It's gonna be in New Orleans.
Is it at the museum again?
Same thing there, boy. So,
We must have an AKA slot. What does that mean? No.
that don't feel too good. I
Tell
kinda
boy,
thought I got it because I was a good leader. I
It's a lot of slots. It's a lot of
I
slots.
kinda thought I got it. I kinda thought I got it because I was a good leader, not because it was
I
the
concur.
AKA
I might
slot,
even
but
come
guess what? I'll
celebrate.
take that too, because Alpha
Right.
Kappa Alpha produce leaders.
Yes, they do.
So, with that being said, we gotta go into executive session at.
So do
this
we have to
time,
do a
and
roll
so
call
We're gonna
before-
call a motion, and so at this time, I will entertain a motion to go in executive
moved.
session. Okay, it's been moved to go into executive session. Roll call. Oh, second, yep.
The second.
Any public comment pertaining to that motion, y'all? It's a long day. Any public comment on the exec session? And we're gonna, I'm supposed to tell the public when we will go out, but I'll do that after the motion goes through. Any objections or extensions? Hearing none.
Roll call.
Roll call, yep.
Jamie Barney,
Yes.
Trinity George,
Yes.
Liam Doyle, absent, Hyacinth McKee,
Yes.
Melissa Haley, yes.
All right, so we're looking at the clock, 2:42. I think we can come back at 3:15 and get this, I think we'll be back by 3:15. That's what I think.
Come on, Woman of the Year. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do
I think we can do
this.
this, y'all. I'm being ambitious. All right, so first things first, we are going to